Alrighty, how are we, guys? Thought I'd do a surprise stream today. Didn't have much planned, so we are here for this massive game between these two teams. Top four teams, well, both teams fighting for the top four at the moment. Collingwood knocked off their second place position with the Gold Coast win on Thursday, and the Crows couldn't jump into the top four, I believe, if they win today. So players are just currently in their little huddles at the moment, about to get ready to start this big game at the MCG to start off Saturday football. So here we go, about to start Saturday football. Sir Doug Nicholls round brings a massive clash at the MCG. So from the tap down, the opening stoppage, McQuarrie playing in the middle. He gets the first clearance, socketed off the turf, a good 70 metres, bouncing towards the boundary line, but sees that out, just easily took that over. Umpire says that's all good. So Collingwood get the early territory here. So Jordan Butt seems to have the matchup. Raise the footy back up. How you doing, man? Yeah, not too bad. From the tap down, side bottom, handball on the outside, did it nicely. Just has to steady himself, Sullivan. Gave off the handball to Elliott, coming off a massive game last week. Quaynor gives it out the back, kick inside towards the top of the goal square. Dawson coming back, does well. Takes a nice mark. So massive game for Jordan Dawson. Was shut down last week against Bergman. Still his team got over the line. Goes with a kick towards the members. Fogarty couldn't get the front spot. Spills to Houston. Got the ball away somehow. Now Pendlebury got boots of ball towards half forward, but it's been turned over once again to Dawson. So Peatling looks like he has the job on Nick Dacos this afternoon. Seems a little bit concerned with his foot at the moment, just trying to get some weight off of it. Dawson drives it up the wing. Got up there, Houston got a fist to it, play on. Walker inside the forward 50 for the Crows for the first time. Frampton against his former side spoiled it down. Only as far as Ned Curvis. Swung a full 360 and he's gone. Well done there, Allen. So he just goes for lateral ball to find Houston. Interesting game for him today. First game against the Crows since his infamous incident against Isaac Rankin in the showdown last year. So he's gone forward now, Nick Dacos. Long kick up the wing, marked by Keane. What a great mark he took last week to save the game for Adelaide. He wants to go. He goes high and long, looking for Phil Thorpe. Gliding in front is Jeremy Howe with his first impact of the afternoon. So he goes with a lateral ball inside the D50 to Perryman. He goes up the guts. It's a good-looking ball. Finds Elliott on the point of the square. Doesn't have a lot to go to here, Jamie Elliott, so he just holds it up. Obviously, 6 goals last week. What a performance. Goes with a little bit of a tumbler towards the wing. Cut off nicely by Ned Curvis. Rankin got a high one. He gets a free. Had a really good game last year against the Pies here at the MCG. Basically best on the ground in a losing side. Almost dragged his team over the line. 30-metre ball up the wing towards Walker. Houston took the front spot. Now Keys may have received a high one. Sullivan with the handball. A little bit too hot for his teammate. It runs out. So Nick Dacos playing a little bit more forward in the early proceedings of this one, trying to break the tag. Looks like Worrell standing with him at times. Mitch Hinge is with him now. So umpire throws it back into play. O'Brien tried to soccer it off the ground, then falls over it. Cameron looking for the high one, didn't get it. Rankin sits on top of him. And another ball up. So pretty greasy conditions at the MCG early doors. From the tap down, gets out the back towards Nankervis, beaten to it by Crisp, in fact. He dropped the footy. Working it forward now is Sullivan, just trying to surge it forward here, Collingwood. Membry couldn't get it out. Butts with the fumble. Dacos about to get dragged down. Got the handball out somehow to Crisp. Underground ball. Only as far as Butts. He spills it out towards Peatling. Handball back towards Dawson. Gets back onto his trusty left boot. Up the wing. Just had too much for O'Brien. Tapped it back into the corridor. Socket off the ground by Keys. Quaynor picked it up. Out the back to Maynard. And now he'll drive a low ball up the wing once again. Wasn't a great kick. Tumbling well. Here's an opportunity for Elliott. Picks it up nicely. Has an opportunity over the top. The snapping ball is nice to Membry. He's looking for an option. Doesn't seem like he's too confident on the kick, but Jamie Elliott, his teammate, tells him to just take it back. So now Membry just goes on the perimeter of 50 to Houston. He can roost a long ball from 50. Dan Houston, that is trademark. Dan Houston, great finish, and Collingwood get the first goal of the afternoon. Little bit too easy there for the Pies. Great work from them, from Membry there, just to not blaze away to the top of the goal square. Just waited for the right option to come, and Dan Houston is the man. So Rankin lines up with Dacos at stoppage. From the tap down, O'Brien towards said Rankin. Gets on the move. Low dart inside 50 to the lead up of Thilthorpe. One of the most talked about players in the game at the moment, Riley Thilthorpe, just seems to be ready to go to break this league apart. So Thilthorpe, from just outside 50, runs a bit of an arc to get that extra distance. He blasts it long. They're coming back just to the right-hand side. So first score of the afternoon for Adelaide. So a quick through the middle of the ground was nice. From Howe towards Long, who dropped the mark. Handball, though. Forward, did it nice to Hill. He gets on his right boot. Sends it long towards Elliott again. Well, trying to start off where he left off last week. Great kick in the end. And Jamie Elliott a chance here to give the Pies their second. Was involved in the opening goal. And they were just too quick there. The kick through the middle of the ground from Howe to start things off from the kick in. They just made to pay their Adelaide not defending properly. So Jamie Elliott will run around. Should be pretty rudimentary, but he's hooked it too much. God, you almost put that in the book for Elliott. So the Crows just need to hold up here. So Worrell goes up the wing. Long ball on the members' side. Great mark from Thilthorpe. He wants to go. Chipping ball inside. That only just went the travel distance. And now they run off half-back. Low dart. Wasn't a great kick from Hinge. Josh Dacos couldn't mark it. Looks to have given away a high one. So Peatling will take it. Forward side of the wing. Goes inboard. Nice kick to Millerer. He'll drive it inside the forward 50. Crows have numbers here, but Howe just in front. Did it well. Pretty quick game of footy so far. Howe goes on the outer side. Good looking ball. Hits up Membry. He's had a few touches early in this one. Stabbing kick was nice. Hit up Hoskin Elliott. points to go long now. Hoskin Elliott drives it long. Crisp couldn't take the mark, hit the ground. Picked up by Allen, grabbed his head, may have been hit high. Play on, says the umpire. Miller jammed it on the boot. Staying on this outer wing. Good contest between two players there. Fogarty wins out in the end. Try to break the tackle. Spun 360. Kept his feet somehow. Dribbling ball inside 50. In front, Phil Thorpe. Couldn't grab it. Out the back is Houston. Dangerous handball. Walker read it well. Keys kept the head down. And he gets the free kick. Well, Ben Keys, what an interesting career he's had. Started at the Lions, didn't get a lot of opportunity, eventually got taken off the list, picked up by the Adelaide Crows, and since moving to SA, he's been brilliant for them. Played a lot of midfield in the early years at Adelaide, has gone forward now, is having a massive impact. He runs around the body, didn't get a good connection on it, in fact, didn't even make the distance. So Darcy Cameron takes the mark. He's directing, he wants to go on the outer wing. So he sends it high. Got held a bit there, Cox. Brought it to ground though. Allen, handballed stolen by Rankin. He sees himself. Isaac Rankin! What a finish! Well, Sir Doug Nicholls round. It seemed fitting that Isaac Rankin would have an early highlight. This handball from Allen, just a little bit telegraphed, and Long wasn't ready for Isaac Rankin to just come in and steal it. And a great finish. So a good response there from the Adelaide Crows. From the tap down, O'Brien straight to Long. He tapped it to his own advantage. They're going working backwards here though. Saligo goes to ground. Dacos against the grain. Houston's handball was smothered well. Taylor handballed out to Dawson. Wide ball, good kick to Cumming. So Cumming just works it wide to Hinge. So scores all level through the first half of the opening term. So he drives it towards the pocket here, looking for Thilthorpe. Brought to ground now. Curtin tucked up in the pocket. Mago himself! Oh, just missed. I think it's flicked the back of the post. The commentators are saying, Dan Curtin almost kicked goal of the year. Most people in the ground thought it was through, but the goal umpire in the perfect spot with the Crows. After a pretty strong start from their opponents, they've been able to settle nicely. So a long kick up the wing. O'Brien. It's a good grab. Really underrated ruckman, Riley O'Brien. Always seems to play his role. Low ball inside the forward 50. It's a great looking kick. Wasn't looking at it there, Maynard. Play on, says the umpire. Frampton to Josh Dacos, working in a phone booth. Got the kick up the wing once again. Standing underneath it was Laird. Fisted away, and now the Pies can go. Long kick towards the one-on-one. Membry up against Michaelani. In fact, it was Elliott, and Michaelani wins out. Doesn't have a lot of options, though, so just has to tread water momentarily. The kick wasn't great. Crisp. Handballed out. Came back under his own possession, and Keane sits on top. So a very quick start to this game of footy. Only one goal either side. So it looks like James Peatling, he had the roll on Nick Dacos, but he's gone straight forward as soon as he saw the tag come. And now he's gone to Jack Crisp. But from the stoppage, free kick going O'Brien's way. So O'Brien sends a high ball. Wide looking kick, hands on it, brought to ground. Nice Saligo, took it, handballed off to Curtin. Jams it forward for territory. Pretty good looking kick in the end, it will run out of bounds. Oh, they've pinged him. Oh, fuck me. That's ridiculous. That shouldn't have been insufficient intent. Fucking hell. So now Howe sends it up the wing. Standing underneath it is Cox. Had hands on it. Should have marked it. Play on. Oh, he paid the mark. I don't know about that either. So Mason Cox has it in front of the interchange gates. So Cox just going to go high and long. Looking for Myercheck. Pushed out of it. Keane couldn't take the relieving mark. Peatling's handball turned it over. Crisp, long handball. Hoskin Elliott has acres of space. And he kicks their second. Well, a little bit too easy there for Collingwood. Just got out the back, and then in a lot of space, there was Hoskin Elliott all on his own. So just for people wondering, the subs are Paddy Lipinski for the Collingwood, bit of an interesting call, and Sam Berry for the Crows, for Adelaide is the sub, who's done that a few times this year. So back in the middle we go. Tap down, won by the Adelaide Crows, and Rochelle runs away from the clearance. Long ball towards 50, got a bad bounce there, Walker. Then another bad bounce. Eventually, Collingwood get possession through Perryman. A dribbling handball. Going under was near Curvis. Kind of owes them one after letting his opponent get away from that kick earlier. And now the Pies can break. Crisp, inside give. Dacos, handball smothered. Good read there. Dawson socketed off the ground. Ricochet towards Pendlebury. Always has time. Works the kick back all the way to Frampton, and they can set up. Gives it off to Quaynor. Off for a run. He's trying to get it chased down, but no one's going to catch him. Kick wide. Wasn't a great looking kick. Hill going to try and track it down before the boundary line, but just happy to see it over. So just outside the forward 50 here for the Pies. So back in the stoppage now is Nick Dacos, and Peatling immediately to him. So from the tap down, O'Brien wins it down though. Pendlebury tried to tap it towards Dacos. Great read. Getting on his left boot, snapping towards the 50, but Crows have the numbers. So coming now. Short kick inside. They went about 4 metres. The umpire was onto it. Laird. Handball through, did it well. The Adelaide trying to work it out. Saligo goes with a high up and under ball for Curtin. Quaynor fisted into the middle of the ground. Houston out wide to Allen. Trying to get the kick away up the wing. 2-on-1 here in the Pies' favour. Free kick's been ripped out. It's going to go Adelaide's way to Millerer. Well, Pies had to work that out a bit better there. Millerer was a 2-on-1 against him, and he won out with a free. He goes right back with the kick. Wasn't very good. They do have a lot of time, though, here, Adelaide in the back pocket. Long kick up the wing is nice. Hits up his target near Curvis. Gives it off. Opportunity now for the Crows. Kick towards the wing for Taylor. Quaynor cut it off. Hits the ground, though. Keys to Laird. He's got Dawson over the top in a lot of space. He's had a good start to this one. Philthorpe. They can run this a long way here, Adelaide. Opportunity. Sets up the kick inside. Great option to Rochelle. Great work from the Adelaide Crows. Great kick inside. It was Taylor in the end. That's a great use from the young rookie. Hasn't played a lot of games, Zach Taylor, but when he gets in the team, seems to play his role. And Josh Rochelle, after a massive pre-season, after a pretty poor end to 2024, he's had a pretty good season so far. A chance here to give the Crows their second. Josh Rochelle is up to the challenge. Crows will win. Big call from you, Tony. I haven't tipped them, but it seems like they're kind of due for a win against Collingwood. There've been a couple of tough losses in the previous years. Long with the kick inside the forward 50 for the Pies. Got a bad bounce. Myercheck going back was Hinge. Met hard by Cox. Dove back and got onto it. Did well there, Hinge. He can kick it outside the defensive 50. It's a nice looking ball. And he hits up his target. Rochelle. He wants to go. Sends a long ball towards a 1-on-1. Make it 2-on-1 with Jeremy Howe. But Fogarty's given away the free kick. So Frampton will get it at half back. So Billy Frampton, of course, played for the Crows a few years ago. Played for both SA clubs, in fact. So he goes up the wing. He's gliding in front. It's Curtin. Gets the free kick, I believe. Decent start for him. Sends it back where it once came. Fogarty couldn't take the mark. Hits the ground. Saligo overran it. Howe. Handball towards side bottom. Don't think this will be called insufficient intent. So it looks like they're trying to target Taylor Walker a bit so far in this opening term. Philthorpe as well, but such interesting matchups in that forward end for the Crows. Collingwood without Darcy Moore today. Philthorpe with the tap down. Comes to the front. Peatling sees it. Almost got the handball away. In fact, he did. He did it well. Get tackled hard, though, by Long. He wasn't going to get away easily. The Crows did pretty well just to able to even it up there. So 6:35 left in the opening term. Been a bit of an arm wrestle. Been a very quick game of footy. Cameron with the tap to the front. Slapped forward well. Long gets it on the boot towards half forward. Cox with a great mark. He wants to go. He has Nick Dacos as a handball option. Realises there's more options inside 50. Goes towards the one-on-one. Myercheck. Tapped it down to Crisp. Dribbling ball. He needs the bounce. He's not going to get it. So scores are all square. Jack Crisp in arguably career best form at the moment. Had a brilliant game against Fremantle. So short ball to Laird, and he drives it up the wing. 2-on-1 in Adelaide's favour. Goes up Dawson. Oh, and he landed on the footy too. Seems to get up pretty nicely. He's had a really good start to the game, Dawson. He wants to go. Sends it to Fogarty, who's got it out the back. Needed to mark. He does, or he just. But if he took it cleanly, they were out the back, so he's got to go. He went one way, then gave it back to Dawson. He wants to get onto his left. Breaks past the tackler. Low dart inside the forward 50. Look at the kick! That was academic! And he hits up Tex Walker. Dawson's always been lethal with a left foot kick. And that was breathtaking stuff. Probably needed to do a bit better there, Jack Crisp, on the tackle of Dawson. He always was going to try and look to that left foot. But the kick was absolutely brilliant. And a chance here for Walker to cap off the great play. He comes in. It's swinging back. Well, it's done a lot in the air. But all that matters is the result. The Crows take the lead by a goal. So Dawson's had a great start to this game. Cameron with the tap down. Nick Dacos is there up against Peatling. Dacos got away with it. Handball forward. Pendlebury off to Macquarie. Inside the centre square. He blasts it long. Very wide. Too wide. Just gets it through for a behind. Well, interesting to see what the Pies do with Jordan Dawson off the chain early. So now Michaelani runs his full measure outside the defensive goal square. Blasts it towards Dawson again. Had hands on it. Cameron wins out. Handball through Perryman. Heard a couple of voices on the outside. Nick Dacos is one of them. Handballed back to Pendlebury. Back to Dacos. Feign the kick. Back inside. Back to Pendlebury. Back to Dacos. They've been linking up all the way through this play. Dacos' handball missed his target though. McQuarrie works back onto it. Curtin. Great tackle. And he's got rewarded. He's had a good start there, Curtin. As a good tackle. Short kick. Wasn't paid the 15 to Rochelle, so just has to jam it on the boot. Up the wing towards O'Brien and Phil Thorpe. Pushed in the back there by Frampton. Play on, says the umpire. Maynard's handball on the inside. Perryman did it well. Josh Dacos handballed forward. Tried to get it to Allen, who was worried out of it by O'Brien and seen out of bounds. So in the latter stages of the first quarter, the Crows lead it by 5 points. So back in the ruck we go. Cameron with the tap to the front. Dawson had hands on it. Long tapped it into the board, but turned it over. Peatling. Handball to Rochelle. Further on, missed his target though. And now Long. Handball through to Josh Dacos. And now the Pies can go on the rebound. Sends it towards centre half forward. Mychek almost dragged it down. Keane goes with him. Tapping it forward. He'll get a bit of a move. Send it towards the top of the goal square. Opportunity here for Membry. Too big, too strong. And a chance here for Membry to get his first. Great mark there from Membry. It's a great kick in the end from Hill as well. He saw he wanted to get it long, but had to get back onto his right boot to get enough power in the kick. And Membry, he's been doing that his whole career. Great body work. So a chance here for his first goal of the afternoon. Tim Membry comes in, slight price. Shouldn't have too many issues, and he doesn't. So a good goal there from the Pies. They draw back in front. So back in the middle we go. Brian with the tap. Saligo was held. Play on, says the umpire. Sullivan tapped that out. Did well. Elliott playing in the middle. Gives it off to Perryman. Drives it up towards half forward for Dacos. Getting there well was Hinge. Took it to the boundary. So they've chucked Elliott through the middle here. Trying to switch up the magnets a little bit here. Craig McRae trying to send through some confusion through the Crows camp. O'Brien tapped forward, trying to find Isaac Rankin. Had too much on it, and it just trickles out at the boundary line again. From the tap down, O'Brien once again wins the tap. Chris breaks away from a tackler to Josh Dacos. Wants to use the perfect option. He drives it high and long once again. Who's going to fly? Bart's got a spoil in there. Laird back to Millerer. Gets it outside the area. Was touched as he kicked it. Cameron keeps it in. Did it well. Josh Dacos will send it long. Again, Hoskin Elliott's the option. Cummings spoiled it towards the goal face. Not a very good spoil at all. And Bobby Hill comes in and gets the goal. The spoil was not good enough. He was way too far out there, Isaac Cumming. He was about 25 metres away. He had to hit the perfect spoil. He just hit it to the goal face where Bobby Hill could come in and soccer it out of midair. He would have wanted that one back there, Isaac Cumming. An experienced player needs to know more than that. In fact, he's probably 30 metres out there, that spoil. Had to just be spoiled towards the boundary line at best. He spoiled it straight to the goal mouth. God, if I'm being honest, Miller probably could have touched that. It was near his finger. So a good finish there from Bobby Hill. Feel like that's not going to be his only impact of the afternoon. From the stoppage, from the clearance, the Crows working backwards, but eventually Laird gets some space. Drives it inside the forward 50. The Crows kind of feel like they need a late one, but Jeremy Howe stands in the way. He's had a good start, Jeremy Howe. I think it's his third intercept mark of the game. Just goes with a lateral ball wide, and the Pies will just hold it up here. They'd love to take a 7-point lead into the opening break. Maynard points long. That's where he goes. Good 60-metre ball up the wing. Packer players form. O'Brien was there. Brought to the ground. Dacos went to ground. Laird sits on top of him. And we'll get a stoppage. So 1:07 left in the first quarter. Cameron goes to ground. I think he was held. He will get the free. Darcy Cameron. If it wasn't for Max Gawn, he'd be the outright leader as the All-Australian ruckman right now. Goes with a wide ball to Dacos. So Collingwood pretty content. They don't want to concede from here. So Dacos sends it towards the 50. Membry gets there. Dawson as well. Neither could mark. Miller fumbled. Elliott got it out somehow. Sullivan inside the forward 50, but the Crows have the numbers. And Mitch Hinge takes the relieving mark. I think the Crows have been pretty content with taking just a 7-point deficit into the first break. He goes to Laird. 27 seconds left. Laird going to go up this wing once again. Takes his full measure. Looking for O'Brien, brought to ground. Dacos, good read. Allen, handballed over the top towards the voice of Dacos, but McQuarrie gathered it well. A late chance here for the Pies. Jack Crisp trying to get onto his left boot. Great tackle from Dawson. And that should be 50. Well done there from Dawson. He's had a brilliant first quarter. So the Crows feel like they have a late chance here. There's 7 seconds left. Time starts to tick. Jordan Dawson wants to go. He gives off the handball to Hinge. I think it's going to be too late, though. He drives it long, and the siren's going to sound. So a late opportunity for the Crows goes begging. And after a great finish from Bobby Hill, he split the difference in the first quarter as the Pies go into the first break with a 7-point lead. Collingwood, 4-3-27, lead the Crows, 3-2-20. All right, let's have a look at these statistics in a minute. Statistics. Jordan Dawson in the first quarter had 53... Hang on, I'll bring it up for you guys. What am I doing? There we go. Oh, didn't mean that. Sorry. Fuck. Well, the stream's gone. I've actually clicked the wrong one, so I've actually done really well. Not fucked myself over there. It's this one. That's the one. All right. Looking at the statistics in the opening term, Jordan Dawson had a field day. 11 touches, 53 fantasy points. Got him my vice captain. If he continues on this merry form, I'll have him as my regular captain. Jeremy Howe was probably up there with the best players for the Pies in the opening term. He had 5 disposals, 3 marks, all intercepts, I believe. He was really good. Josh Rochelli with a 27. Laird, 25. Where's Peatling? Oh, no. You don't like to stroll down. Ugh. I brought him in this week, and I'm a fucking moron. It's gone to Nick Dacos, who has had... Am I blind? Yeah, 15. 7 touches, 6 of them handballs, so not a lot. I like Tim Membry's start. He's done really well in between the arcs, taking some good contested marks and has a goal as well. So overall, pretty even start to the contest. What What is everyone else doing this afternoon? I know South Australia now have the opportunity. They could watch Crows and Port games on 7. But have they changed it for Victoria? I know Collingwood obviously can't because... Well, I know Victoria don't get this game, but do they have any other games? I don't remember now. Because all the interstate clubs now have access to their teams live now on 7. So I don't really know about the other teams. You hear the rock stars. Ugh, I hate that advert. Why have they got a cricket ad? Bro, it's fucking May. Ugh. My fucking feet are sore, cold as hell. Maybe we should set a goal for a pricing. $3 million and I'll colour my hair red. I'm not doing that again. Felt like Collingwood had the more dominant first quarter, to be fair. I feel like the Crows were fighting back when they had to, but it was what? It was goal for goal throughout the whole first quarter, wasn't it? Yeah, oh no, it wasn't. Crows did get 2 in a row at one point, but margin didn't go over a goal over 10 points for the whole first quarter. These games have always been very close. The last 4 of them have been, I think. They've been under a goal, the margin. Yeah. Ugh. I thought Jeremy Howe had all 3 intercept marks. I'll be interested to see what they do with Jordan Dawson here, because he seems like the only player who's going to get the Crows back into this. Seems like one who's going to be the one who can break it into this game. So back in the middle we go for the second quarter. Pies lead it by 7 points. And the Crows get the clearance forward, but Frampton takes the front spot and immediately streams away from Phil Thorpe. Sends it back the other way. Bobby Hill with the body. Couldn't win out. He's given away the free kick for it in the back. So Miller will get it. So he works it up the wing. Nice looking ball. Hits up his target incoming. Definitely owes them one. Gives it to the handball on the outer. Long kick. Up goes Howe. Fist on it, didn't get a meaningful connection. Now Fogarty wrapped up. Now be a ball up. So from the ruck contest, tucked up in the Crows' forward pocket. Pendlebury handballed off, taken out there as long. So Crows locking it inside their forward 50 early. Need a coffee. So it looks like Pendlebury lining up with Dawson at stoppage now. See who gets to work here. You got Rankin, Rochelle, Dawson as well, but Dacos clears it away here for Collingwood. Wide ball looking for Quaynor, has his time, gathers it well. Couple of handball options, just holds up for the moment. Gives it off to the runner in Maynard. Further on to Josh Dacos. He's got side bottom on the inside. That's where he goes. He looks at his options. Side bottom, usually a lethal user. Wasn't a great kick. May work out in the end for Pendlebury. Tracks it down. He got a terrible bounce. Neil Bullen fumbled. Salee goes through. Millerer breaks past the tackler. Doesn't have many options up, so just has to hold up through hands. Rankin towards half forward. Great kick to Rochelle. He's got an option in the goal square. Fogarty and Keys and Fogarty. Great work there from Ben Keys. Just dove across just to put a little bit of a block on for his teammate, just to get in the line of sight. I think it was Billy Frampton. And that was just did enough for Fogarty to take a great mark. Won't get any statistic for that, Ben Keys. But that was a real influence on this goal. So Fogarty hasn't done much so far, but a chance here to get the first goal of the second quarter. Oh, jeez. Went close to that right goalpost, but just did enough to work back on the preferred side, and the Crows get the first goal of the second term. So the Crows' first goal of the second term. O'Brien with the tap. Dawson picking up where he left off. Got the handball back to O'Brien. Further back with the handball. Crows working in a phone booth right now. Dawson got the handball away. Umpire said holding the footy. So the Pies take the advantage. Working it through the middle of the ground. He's got long in short. He goes for it, but Dawson cuts it off. What a great first quarter and a bit he's building. Neil Bullen. Kick up towards Thilthorpe. Hasn't had a lot of impact so far, but he's ready to break the game open. Sends it long. 2-on-2. Up goes Fogarty again. Couldn't take the mark. Rochelle was there. He fumbled. Dacos to Pendlebury. He wants to go through the middle. Doesn't have an option though, so just gives the handball back to his mate in side bottom. So Josh Dacos. Further on back to side bottom. And they can work it out through hands pretty well here, the Pies. Pendlebury. Wide kick. Great kick. Hoskin Elliott can just hold up. Worked it out really well there, the Collingwood veterans. So Hoskin Elliott directs this one long towards Elliott. It hits the ground. Free kick's been ripped out here. No one knows who it's going to, except for Mason Cox. In fact, maybe it's Jamie Elliott. It is Jamie Elliott. Doesn't look seems a little bit... Seems to have a bit of an issue. He's trying to shake it off here. So it was an accidental elbow from his freaking teammate. Oh, I don't know about that. Anyway, sends it towards that pocket now. And Keane takes a great grab. In great marking form, Mark Keane. Just a short ball. Cross goal. Finds Jordan Butts. So he goes up the wing. One-on-one Fogarty is there against Frampton. They tussle up. Frampton taps it out of the area for Howe. Picked up by Perryman. Tracking the boundary line. Long kick. He's all on his own here. Opportunity for Bobby Hill. His danger signs go. Couldn't get the footy though. Coming. Long handball out of the area. Picked up Michaelani. Further over the top. The Crows are about to get shut down. Great tackle from Howe. And a ball up. Isaac Rankin trying to tell the umpire he got hit in the face. Umpire wasn't willing to give away the free kick though. Oh, he was definitely taken high. Oh, he did get the free kick in the end, as he deserved. So Neil Bullen has it. So Neil Bullen sends it up the wing. One-on-ones galore. O'Brien with a tap down. Got a terrible bounce there, Fogarty. Peatling got a high one. Play on. O'Brien, good tackle on Sullivan. He's done well. O'Brien's had a good game so far. So Jamie Elliott's actually got blood coming off his head at the moment. So he made it a HIA. He got a hit from an elbow from Mason Cox only a few moments ago. He's looked, I wouldn't say dazed, but he definitely seems a little bit confused. Yeah, it's a double elbow, in fact, from Mason Cox. Jesus. So Jamie Elliott's now off the ground. Neither ruckman could get the tap. Rankin coming through, socking it off the ground. A good 25 metres. Josh Dacos will track it down first. Looking for a long handball. Sullivan gathered it well. Good tackle from Neil Bullen. Sees it over. So 1 point the margin. Crows the sole goal in the second quarter at the moment. Only 5 minutes into it. Collingwood seem to be trying to get a little bit more run and gun in this second term. A lot of handballs. A lot of forward handballs. Cameron with the tap again. He will win the clearance as well. Breaks away from a tackler. The kick on the inside towards Nick Dacos. Had hands on it. Probably got hit, taken out in the marking contest. Umpire says play on. So Dacos obliges. Handball forward to McQuarrie was surely held. Umpire says play on again. Let them play, he says. Peatling with the kick outside the area. Got a bit lucky. Fogarty should have marked it. Fumbled. Quaynor, give it off to Crisp. He looks at a couple of options. Gives it off to Maynard. Doesn't kick a lot of goals. He sets it up instead. Myercheck got a high one. Umpire still hasn't blown the whistle. And eventually, a ball up. Well, if they're going to let it go today, fair enough. But my God, there was a lot of free kicks in this. So locked up in the forward pocket here for Collingwood. From the tap, O'Brien took it out of there, fumbled it out. Myercheck trying to swing around on the left boot, couldn't do so. Hill got boots the ball. Only about 4 metres to the kick, and King went the clearing ball, but it's a dangerous kick. And Perryman cuts it off just inside the forward 50. Perryman wants to play on as well, goes into the pocket and finds the Collingwood game's leading record holder in Scotty Pendlebury. What a player this guy is. May play for one of the most infamous teams in the competition. Some love, most hate, but he's one of the most loved players in the game. Unfortunately, can't kick the goal. So it's just a poor miss there. So Cumming comes back on the inside to Butts. He's cold to play on. Didn't really want to. The kick was interrupted. He goes very, very wide. Michaelani gathered it well. Kick up the wing. It's a dangerous looking ball, but a good mark from Nankervis. Had to take that mark. He does owe them one. Goes with the kick towards Saligo. Had too much on it. Maynard read it. Houston back to Maynard. Back in the team this week. Handball over the top. They've got a bit of overlap here, the Pies. Crisp. Hoskinelli has got Crisp on the outside. Works it on the inside. Sullivan. Nick Dacos. Back to Houston. He can load up there, Houston. He goes to the top of the goal square once again. Looking for Hill. Spoiled by Keane. Standing underneath it here is side bottom. Tackle to the ground. And a ball up. 25 minutes out from the Pies goal. So who's going to get on the fly here for the Pies? O'Brien with the winning tap. Dawson trying to get it out of there. Eventually finds it to Laird. Clears it to space, hoping that a Crows player can get there. But Allen has a lot of time to work with here. Works it inside the forward 50. It'll be Emery! No, in fact, it's McQuarrie. That was a great grab too. Ed Allen, bit on the periphery of the team at the moment. Finds himself in the best 22 this week. And boy, he knows he wants to lock his spot up in this side. So he's had a few centre bounce clear attendances so far by McQuarrie. Just trying to flick around the magnets. Craig McRae, see what they've got. But this is his spot on the ground that he loves. A shot on goal. Kicks it across the face and eventually spoiled through by Worrell. So yet to kick a goal in the second turn, the Pies. Three points the margin. So a long kick, hits up then Curvis. Good kick in the end. Defensive side of the wing here at Adelaide. He wants to go. Eventually he does. Wide looking kick. Had too much on it there for, I think it's Laird or Saligo. And Frampton just punches it out of bounds. So it looks like Dan Houston may have an issue with his calf here. Seems to definitely be hampered by a calf issue. It's heavily strapped. Commentators have said that it could be just a corky, but definitely hampered by it. So Thilthorpe with the tap, side bottom, starting to work his way into the contest. Kick forward, wasn't the greatest. Keane slapped it back. Nankervis, handball in towards Hinge. He's trying to gather it off the turf. Dacos reaped him down. Did it well. Neil Bullen copped the high one from side bottom. And then Hinge just sends Josh Dacos to the floor. Wasn't impressed by the contact from the older Dacos brother. Cox with the tap. Thilthorpe trying to get it out of there. Rankin surely just stole that from his grasp. And now he breaks away. Dawson, long kick towards Walker. Block. Play on, says the umpire. No, they've called it back now. Walker put a fair bump on Jeremy Howe. Took him out of the marking contest. And the non-controlling umpire pays that one. So Howe gives it off to the runner in Maynard. And he pumps it towards the 50. Cox can stand. Butts brought it down. Thilthorpe did well. Butts handballed over the top to Peatling. He wants to use it wisely. He'll send it high up the wing towards the one-on-one Walker and Frampton. And again, Frampton, he's had a really good start to this game. Has to be big today. Of course, with Darcy Moore being out, much more pressure goes on to Billy Frampton. So throws it back into play. Neither ruckman could get it. Pendlebury, seen time, had to stop. Long, Batby swung the full 360, and he's gone. Great work there from the Crows. Dan Curtin, Dawson came in late to apply the tackle, but Curtin wins the reward. It's had a pretty good start, Dan Curtin. And he'll drive it long towards the 50 once again. Hands on it was Rankin. Play on. On the ground was Crisp. Inside kick was not very good. Turned it over to Miller. And have to give it back. Miller likes to pump a long ball. He's definitely too far out to score, but he could set it up. Goes with a low ball towards an option there for Walker. Umpire says play on. Handballed underground. Allen. Quaynor. And now Josh Dacos on the last line. Wants to use it wisely. Goes with a short ball to Frampton. Then about 4 metres. Umpire holds into play on. So he'll drive it up the wing for Hoskin Elliott. Gets out the back. Here go the Pies. Myercheck works back on the inside to Long. He's got options aplenty through the middle of the MCG. He just has to hit one and he didn't. And now the Crows can go on the counter. Worrell ducked and he's gone. And McQuarrie wants to go. Collingwood caused the turnover. Allen has a few options. He sends it to the lead up. Got a terrible kick there, Hill. Myercheck gathered, broke a tackle, looking for Sullivan, missed his target. Working onto it now is Long. Spun 360, Pendlebury. Always cool, calm and collected. To Crisp, over the top. And now Collingwood can settle with Hill. Well, when it was all through chaos, of course, it was Scotty Pendlebury who took his time and was clinical with the footy. So Bobby Hill, Uri added a highlight to his illustrious reel and a chance here for his second. 45-degree angle, Well, I think it was a bit too easy for him in the end there, Bobby Hill. He's kicked it out to the right. Needs something a little bit more difficult there, Bobby Hill, to get... He's like, that's not going to be on my end of career highlights. Let's try and make it a little bit more difficult, a little bit more entertaining. So Worrell's kick outside the defensive area, finds Walker. He'll want to wheel and go. Sends it towards the 50. Rochelle up against Houston. Great grab. He's had some big encounters against the Crows in years gone by, in previous showdowns. Standing up for the first time against the Crows in Pies colours today. He wants to switch. Going to the opposite back flank to Quaynor. He sends it up the wing for Elliott. It's not a good kick, though. And now Phil Thorpe going on the counter. Long kick. Nice kick. Rankin too busy worried about Quaynor. Should have gone the footy. And now Quaynor. Underground handball to Frampton. Further on to side bottom. And the Pies get away with it. Breaks a tackle. They're side bottom. And then Saligo drags him down. Handballed away just in time. They work it through the middle now, the Pies. The Dacos brothers combine. This is Josh over the top to McQuarrie. He's got an option on the point of the square. Decides to go longer and probably should have gone to the point of the square. Keane did well. In career best form right now, Mark Keane. Peatling on the point of the defensive side of the square. Drives it long. Finds his option in Fogarty. He goes long. He goes for goal. And he goes all the way. Well, I don't know if he was trying to pass that one there, Darcy Fogarty, but the goal is all that matters. And a great work on the counter play there. Collingwood went down one end, wasted their opportunity. Crows go down the other and hit the scoreboard to take the lead back. Great kick from James Peatling as well to find Fogarty. Looked at a couple of options and said, I'll just take a little pot shot from 50. So back in the middle we go. Crows lead it by a few. From the stoppage, Pendlebury got a ball out somehow, Cameron. Long tried to soccer it off the ground. Now Rochelle wrapped up. It'll be another ball up. From the tap down. Trying to get it out of there was Rochelle. Dragged to the turf and we'll call it again. So 7 minutes still to play in this first half. It's been an arm wrestle for these teams. I think the last 4 games have all been decided by under a goal, going Collingwood's way. This one seems to be going in the same trajectory. From the clearance of the Crows, Curtin drives it inside the forward 50 for Thilthorpe. Brilliant win in the air. He wants to wheel and go. Sends it long towards Fogarty in a 2-on-1. He's too good though. They got so many big options, the Adelaide Crows. Walker, Thilthorpe, and then Darcy Fogarty, who seems to be the man today. Thilthorpe's kick, I didn't look good on paper, but it worked out in the end. So Darcy Fogarty to give his Crows an 8-point lead. Oh, he's hit that very poorly. And in fact, he hasn't scored. Tucked up in the pocket, should have done a lot better there. 6:22 left in the first half. When you're up against such a competitive team like Collingwood, you have to take your chances, and that was a wasted opportunity. He goes up the wing. O'Brien couldn't win it. Laird, handball, finds Saligo. He jammed it on the boot, didn't really look. It's a tumbler ball towards half forward. Josh Dacos reads it. Then just sends it back where it once came. A tumble punt. The chaos ball. Membry pushes his opponent past it. Just has to grasp it. He sends it inside the forward 50 for Myercheck. Hinge went up. Couldn't take the mark. Elliott, always dangerous on the ground. Gives it off to Long. Then to side bottom. He should finish. And he does. Crows miss down one end. Side bottom makes them pay out the other. Just didn't seem like Ned Long wanted to take the shot, but I mean, in the end, he found the still side bottom, who was always going to finish from there. So just ticking into red time in this first half. Now McQuarrie trying to get away from clearance. Just fumbled it once and twice, but kept on it. O'Brien breaks the tackle. Handballed back to Worrell. Dawson has to get in and under. Elliott with the pressure. Dacos with the spin. Long with the handball. They should finish it off here. Jack Crisp kicks it. Their veterans rise to the fore, and Jack Crisp hits the scoreboard. Well, Ned Long been involved in the last 2 goals. But the veterans are the ones who will hit the scoreboard with a couple of their opening goals. Just when the Crows have been threatening to take a decent lead, Darcy Fogarty a few moments ago had a pretty easy chance to kick a goal. He missed, and Collingwood have made them pay full price. 2 quick goals. Well, 10-point leaders here are the Pies. They've kicked 2 in a minute. Give themselves a nice little handy break. Back in the ruck we go. O'Brien with the ruck. Long did it well. He's fished it out nicely. Sullivan up and under ball towards the wing, but Curtin, easy mark there. So Curtin just further wide on the outer side, finds Laird. Feels like the Crows just need a settler here. They've just leaked the last 2 goals. So Laird now. Very high ball. Looking for O'Brien. And Dawson. O'Brien takes it well. Taylor with the spin. Rankin further on. Quain will try to cut off the handball. Has to track it well. Frampton. And now Maynard gave it out wide to sideboard and tried to tap it on. O'Brien went to the ground. And he's got a free kick as well. So Riley O'Brien. He'll want to drive it in. Low dart inside the forward 50. Look at the kick! Darcy Fogarty on the lead as well. What a kick there from the ruckman. I think it's been a 50-50 ruck contest so far. Both of them have been really good for their respective sides. But that kick from O'Brien was clinical to say the least. Look at that. Barely left the turf. It was that low. So it's starting to rain now. So game's going to start to be a little bit harder in the second half. So goals are going to be at a premium. And Darcy Fogarty kicks it through. Well, a good kick there from Fogarty just keeps them in touch. Had a great second quarter, Darcy Fogarty. Seems to be the man today. It's been Phil Thorpe a lot this year, but Darcy Fogarty seems like it's his day at the MCG. He's jumped to the 3rd in the Coleman now, Darcy Fogarty. Tap down from O'Brien. Dawson, clearance towards half forward. Quainall goes up, fists it to the ground, straight to Sullivan. He'll send it back where it once came. Going back with the flight, good mark from Nankervis. Had a bit of a roller coaster of a first half, but that was a really good mark. Goes wide and finds Dawson. What a first half he's had. Probably the best on the ground. It just goes further wide now to his mate in Laird. Short to Curtin. In fact, it's Worrell. He's had a really good season so far, Josh Worrell. So he wants to go high. Who's going to fly? No one really had a clean run at it. Maynard clearing handball towards Dacos, wrapped up by Dawson. Ball in. Sorry if anyone heard that. So 3 minutes still left in this half. Pretty full MCG considering this game started pretty early in the afternoon. Cameron with the tap. Dacos gathered it well, handballed over the top to side bottom. Great hands. Wasn't a great kick though from side bottom. Laird able to track it back. Gives it back to Worrell. Sends it inside the forward 50 once again. Went up a bit early. Fogarty heard the voice of Rankin. Just missed him. He was out the back there, Isaac Rankin. And maybe in another universe, he may have been able to get onto it. Seems like something was said in the crowd there to Isaac Rankin. He was happy to quickly chirp back at him. Back in the contest here. Rankin getting to work. May have got a high one. Handballed forward. Fogarty couldn't gather it. Quaynor held up. 2.5 minutes left. It just seems like there's a moment here for one of the Crows smalls. Can they get to work? Tap down. Rankin gathered. Immediately tackled. Who's going to get on the fly here? Rankin, Rochelle come to mind. O'Brien with the tap straight to Nick Dacos, who clears it outside the defensive area. Membry jumps up. Great grab. He's always been good at that steal mark he does. Just leaps up off one step. Does it really nicely. He goes back to Nick Dacos, who sends it towards Cox. Did well to bring it to the ground, but the Crows had numbers. Hinge. Over to Laird. Miller trying to get into a spin. Bobby Hill, great pressure. Got to kick away somehow. Great work from side bottom to Nick Dacos again. 2-on-1 inside the forward 50 for the Pies. It's Ed Allen. He's got an opportunity over the top. Did that like a pretty true forward there, Ed Allen. Don't know if he's played up there in his past, but just looked around at his options and acted like he wanted to go, but didn't really look urgent enough. One of the younger players in the Pies team so far this year. He's been a bit of an in-and-out sort of player. He's 20 years of age. One of the players for the future, but they're all about the now, the Pies. Ed Allen, from just outside 50, in the pouring rain, drives it through. I think it was touched on the line. So Pies lead it by 5 points. So the Crows now coming on the members' wing. Haven't been on this side of the ground too much in this second term. O'Brien went up. Cameron tried to claim the mark. Don't know about that. Seemed to be dubious. Sligo couldn't get it out of there. Maynard to Dacos. Handball was interrupted. Maynard slapped it forward. Allen wasn't really ready for it. And eventually sent it out of bounds. So 1 minute and 3 seconds left in the first half. Can someone find a late goal? Feel like both teams would feel like they should be in front. Feel like it's in a pretty even sort of place in the game right now. O'Brien tapped it to the front. Rochelle sends it high up and on the ball towards the forward side of the square, but cut off by Howe. I think that's his 4th intercept mark of the game now. It's a very good first half, Jeremy Howe. In fact, it is his 4th intercept. God, I'm good, guys. Howe goes up the wing. Out the back, Cameron. So a late chance here for Collingwood. So now Cameron works it back to Maynard. Into the pocket, all on his own. Again, it's Tim Membry. Seems like the man for the game, Tim Membry. Seems like the man today for the Pies up forward. Started at the Sydney Swans all the way back in the day. Went to St Kilda, played the majority of his career in the tricolours, as they say. But now, he's all black and white. And a chance here now. In the shadows of half-time, Tim Membry kicks it very wide to the left and doesn't register a score. But at half-time, the Pies lead it by 5 points. This game's set up for a massive second half. But at the main break, Pies lead it 6-7-43 to the Crows 6-2-38. All right, guys, we'll be back in about 15 minutes for the second half. This clip is from the Boundary Riders podcast. And if you do enjoy this, then make sure to check out the full episode out every single Wednesday morning on YouTube and Spotify. So after that, guys, I wanted to quickly rank the AFL Indigenous jumpers, of course, with Indigenous round happening over the next 2 weeks. AFL teams have released their Indigenous jumpers that they're going to be wearing over the next couple of weeks. Some have actually released 2, so I think I've got every single one. If I forget one, let me know down in the comment section, but let's get to ranking all the AFL Indigenous jumpers for 2025. So we're going to be starting at the worst and going to the best. And overall, I don't actually hate any of them. I think whoever made them, did a really good job. And I'm sure the AFL clubs absolutely love them. So by all means, I don't hate or dislike any of the artists that made them. I'm just saying it on my personal thoughts about them. And if you like them, you like your team's one, and I say I don't really like it, totally up to you to, we can have differing opinions, I feel like. So now that I've padded everything, first of all, I'm going to go with the one that I dislike the most, which is the Brisbane one. Mine, I just don't really like it, in my opinion. It doesn't really scream Lions to me. I think they've had some pretty decent ones in the past. I do like that they've gone with a maroon background, but other than that, the swirls and stuff, I'm sure there's some story behind it, but just on a look, that's how I'm vibing this so far. I'm just not really a big fan of the Brisbane one, to be honest. It feels a bit, and I don't want to say this, I don't want to say it seem mean, but it just seems like a bit of a mess. That's just my vibe on it anyway. So Brisbane's is the most disliked one at the moment for me. Next up, we get to Melbourne's. Not a big fan of Melbourne's. I feel like they could have done a bit more with it. I don't mind the design, but I just think they've actually had some really good ones in the past, the Demons, and I just feel like this is a bit of a letdown from the last couple that we've seen. I don't mind the shield and that in the middle of it, but I just think there's not a lot going on. It feels like everything's been pushed to the background so they can still keep their core part of their Guernsey, and I just don't really, it doesn't really scream out creative to me, just in my opinion anyway. Next we get to Port Adelaide. Now this is one of two. This is their away strip. The white one, I don't think it's really that vibrant, I guess, is that, if it's the word. It seems a bit boring in my opinion. I think the teal as well doesn't stand out very well on the white background in my opinion. So I think the other one looks a bit better, which we'll get to a little bit later. I don't mind the V in the middle actually. That's the teal V in between the black. I don't mind that, but I just think the white background with the teal design through the middle here is not really my cup of tea, so to speak. God, I sound like a wanker, don't I, talking about these. Next up, anyway, we have North Melbourne's. I don't hate it. The only problem I would have is I think the colours need to be turned around. I would prefer a blue background and the designs around the jumper to be more white, in my opinion. There are a few up the top that I get to that I do like the white designs. I think it suits it. However, I prefer this one to be in particular. I really do like the royal blue that North Melbourne do use. So that's probably why I don't like this one as much. But don't mind the design. I actually really like the design of the kangaroo for it though. Next we get to Sydney's. I don't mind the idea of the Swans doing a red bottom and a white off the top, to be honest. However, I think with the Indigenous jumper, I feel like it almost feels like it's been half done, in my opinion. I think that the white at the top there needs to be something up the top. I feel like it's just half a design being done, in my opinion. So I really wish they did something with the top of it, because I don't mind the design at the bottom. But Sydney have had the last couple before this one I really, really liked. So I'm a little bit disappointed by this one, to be honest. I feel like they could have done a little bit more with the white top, because I actually don't mind the colour swap between the red, obviously Sydney's normal jumpers, red up top, white at the bottom. I don't mind the colour change, but I do think they need to do something up the top with the white, just in my opinion anyway. Next we get to the Tigers. So Richmond's I don't mind, but I don't really understand. I understand like there'd probably be a reason behind the bird. It is for Ryan Mansell's family who did it. I would have preferred a little bit more of a tiger, but the Richmond one I don't mind. I think they've gone yellow and black because Essendon have gone black and red, so they couldn't have the black background. It just doesn't really scream out so massively to me. I feel like they could have done a little bit more with the yellow in between the black stripe. And this is the Crows one. This is the home jersey. They've got a clash one, which we'll get to a little bit. I really like the both the jumpers itself. My only issue with these ones, which we'll get to a little bit later, is the crow. It just, I don't know, to me personally, it feels like they've cut the crow in half, just at the top here, here. It feels like they've cut it, which I don't really like. I feel like it's weirdly cut like that to me. It feels like it's very straight edge, considering the rest of the it's so creative with all the little indigenous dot paintings and that painting designs and stuff that I feel it's a bit weird that the crow's just like being cut off here. That's just me anyway. I'm sure there's like, again, I'm just going purely on look in my opinion. Next is Carlton's, really simple one. It's why it's a little bit further down. I do like the designs in between the I don't know what you call the shoulders here and the bottom. I just wish they did something to the middle. And I understand Carlton have got to have the C in the middle, but overall, I think you can get rid of it for the round, or at least couldn't they at least do something different with the emblem? I mean, we've seen teams change their emblem. I know they're a very traditional club, but it's like you could do something with the emblem in the middle here. Overall, though, I do like how it is a little bit simple. I just wish they did a bit more in the middle. St Kilda's is next. Don't mind the St Kilda one. Probably the reason why it's not as high as what the normal is, probably because I think there are better ones going through, but I also think that St Kilda's last year was one of the best ones. So I think it's a tiny step down in my opinion. Overall, not that bad. To be honest, I understand teams are going to use different animals in that, but I also think that I think there's sometimes other teams using animals like eagles and that, especially when they are a part of different teams. I feel like you could do something a bit different than using another team's animal, or like for example, kangaroo paws. I do like. I think that's very interesting. But using an eagle on it when you've got the eagles, I don't know about that. Essendon, this is up next. Like I said before, because they've gone with the yellow background with the black stripe. Essendon have gone with the red stripe and the black background. Don't mind this one, actually. I liked it. It's like quite simple. There's not too many things going on. They've focused a lot more with the design around the slash, but also like how they've almost changed the stripe a little bit, so it's almost across the body rather than shoulder to your hip. I like how they've kind of done that and then added the design in between. Not too bad. It's simple. I don't mind it, so I think it's okay. This is Geelong's home one. They've obviously got an away one, which we'll get to a bit later. I like that Geelong have done something a bit different here. The last few seasons, or majority of the seasons, they've just gone with the a white background or whatever with just a new pattern in between as like their stripes. I like they've done something different here. So I think, my understanding, this is a eel of some sort. I really like the C aspects that they've done here. But yeah, I actually think this one's pretty cool. So I like the Geelong one, the home one. Next, we get to the Bulldogs. We've already seen this one being played. I do like the Bulldogs have done something a little bit different here. I feel like, in my opinion, the Dogs have probably been one of the worst teams for designs over the first few years that every single team has been doing one. This is one of my favourite ones for the Dogs, hence why they've gone a bit higher. They're kind of in the middle. I like how they've got the different colours. And they've incorporated more red, blue, and then a little bit of white, because I do think their colours are quite nice, but the white probably takes over now and then. So I do like they've done this sort of stuff here, and I like the design as well, how it all basically links to this design here in the corner. Fremantle, it's simple. I don't mind it. And I also like how they've gone to a little bit more of a sort of heritage way. They've like gone the green, white, and red. I do like that. I think it was Jeff Farmer, who led the design for this. I like how they've gone a little bit more retro with the colours that obviously Dockers used to use before they went to just straight purple and white. So I don't mind that one. I think that one's pretty cool. I think it's one of the. I think Fremantle's, I think it was last year's one, was really, really good. This one's slightly a step down, but I still really like how they've done their cross like that. And I wouldn't actually mind in the future if Fremantle changed their colours to have their, I don't know what you call it, their triangle bit in the middle, if they did change it to green, white, red, but don't mind the design of this one. Next, we get to Hawthorn. This is their home jersey. Really like this one, and I really like the fact that they have used the hawk in the middle of it. The yellow background on the brown stripes. I really like the designs of the stripes as well. There's only two, not the three like you usually expect, one through the middle. So they've really, there's kind of one. It's like a half one. But I really like how they've incorporated the hawk. Now we'll get to the brown background in the later. But yeah, I do like this one. I do like the other one a lot better though. Collingwood's is next. So about over halfway now. Collingwood's very simple. But I like how they've done something. They're always going to keep it traditional because they're a traditional club and they can't have a wank fest or whatever the hell the reason why. I don't get why they can't like have different jumpers. But I like how they've still got the, it's a Collingwood jumper. You've got the black stripes with the white through the middle or whatever you want to say. But I like how they've got this design in the black through there as well. And I like the I think their bird, I'm assuming they're magpie paws. So I really like that through the middle. And I think it's a really simple one, but I really like how they've added little tiny textures, like even just on the stripes here, they've got these little patterns through the side. So I really like that. And I like the little texture design through the middle of the black stripes. Gold Coast, we have seen this one already, of course. Their Darwin design for this year. Didn't really like it at first, but it's kind of grown on me. I like how they've, for one, you can actually see the emblem on the jersey. I really like that. They've added like a white. It almost looks like a star through the middle, which I really do like. And everything is pointing towards their emblem. I think that's why I really like this design. I don't really know exactly why it's got a huge Northern Territory aspect. I'm sure there's a reason why. I mean, other than the Northern Territory logo. But overall, I'm sure the Gold Coast love it. They're winning every single game up in Darwin. Then we've got Port Adelaide. This is their second one, their home jersey. And this is why I really like the black one a lot more, because the teal aspects of the jumper stand out a lot more. And plus, I think as well, the white stands out really nice on the black design. I think everything just pops a little bit more, hence why I put the Port Adelaide one. This is like one of the top ones, so this is why I really like this one. The black sits at the back and everything else pops in front, so that's why I like it. West Coast is now up next. This would have been probably a little bit hot. This probably would have been one of the higher ones. However, I think the eagle being white just, I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me perfectly. I really like the design of everything, to be honest. And even the eagle I do like. I just think that the white seems a little bit weird of a color choice. I feel like they could have done something a little bit weird, different. I feel, to be honest, it looks like someone has... it looks like a drawing from like a school book or something. You've been drawing through your school book or whatever, and it's been plastered straight on there. Not that the design's bad. It doesn't really, for me, it feels a bit strange. I know my brother said he absolutely loves this one. Maybe West Coast could win their first game in it. That would be cool. But other than that, I think, this will probably be the highest they'll ever finish on a table or rankings this year. So I'm glad that they're up the top there, West Coast. Now we get into the top four though. Fourth is the Adelaide Crows. I think this is the Clash jumper. This is the red one. I really love this design. Like I said, this probably would have been number one if it wasn't for the crow, cut off. That's obviously on both of them. I really love the red background on the jumper here. It just makes everything, all the little details of the dot art on it, Indigenous dot art and that sort of stuff. It does really make it pop. So I really like that. The red, I actually like when the Crows use the red on the background of their jumpers as well. Number 3 is the away jersey for the Cats. Like I said before, the whites haven't really been my favourite, the white colour on the background. But this one, because the darker colours are in between and the red sea snake or whatever it is stands out, pops more on that white background, I really do like this one. This is one of my top favourites. And the Cats always do seem to look a lot better in their white jumper because their white shorts stand out so nicely. So I think that's probably why I like it the most. But yeah, I really like the white background on the Geelong jumper. Number 2 is the GWS jumper. I absolutely love this one. I think last year they did like a swap, so it was a dark background on the different designs. This time they've gone with a white background. And I think, like I said, everything on the Geelong one, it's pretty similar. Every orange color pops off. You can see every single intricate line, all the little pieces of artwork through between. I think that's supposed to be a goanna in between here, inside the Giants jumper. I think this looks really, really cool. So I think this is one of the best ones, especially for the Giants as well. But the Giants have always had some pretty good ones, but this is definitely up there. And now my favorite Indigenous jumper going into this season's Indigenous round is the Hawthorn Brown. I don't know if you want to call it your Clash jumper. This is my absolute favourite. I think it is a lot of favourites of most people. It is stunning. The hawk in the middle with the brown hawk with the stripes that aren't not yellow. They're just yellowed outlines. So you can still see that nice little bit of design in between the stripes. But the brown just makes all the yellow pop out, or the gold colour pop out so nicely. So I absolutely love this jumper. Don't really like the Hawks too much, so won't be getting it. But I really love the uniqueness of this one. And I love how the hawk is like the most prominent part of it, because they are the Hawks and they make that stand out the most. So for the person who made this, Ty, this is the person who made the jumper. Absolutely brilliant design. Did really, really well with it. And Hawthorn are going to look great this week in this jumper. This clip is from the Boundary Riders podcast. And if you do enjoy this, then make sure to check out the full episode out every single Wednesday morning on YouTube and Spotify. So after that, guys, I wanted to quickly rank the AFL Indigenous jumpers, of course, with Indigenous round happening over the next 2 weeks. AFL teams have released their Indigenous jumpers that they're going to be wearing over the next couple of weeks. Some have actually released 2, so I think I've got every single one. If I forget one, let me know down in the comment section. But let's get to ranking all the AFL Indigenous jumpers for 2025. So we're going to be starting at the worst and going to the best. And overall, I don't actually hate any of them. I think whoever made them, did a really good job. And I'm sure the AFL clubs absolutely love them. So by all means, I don't hate or dislike any of the artists that made them. I'm just saying it on my personal thoughts about them. And if you like them, you like your team's one, and I say I don't really like it, totally up to you to, we can have differing opinions, I feel like. So now that I've padded everything, first of all, I'm going to go with the one that I dislike the most, which is the Brisbane one. Mine, I just don't really like it, in my opinion. It doesn't really scream Lions to me. I think they've had some pretty decent ones in the past. I do like that they've gone with a maroon background, but other than that, the swirls and stuff, I'm sure there's some story behind it, but just on a look, that's how I'm vibing this so far. I'm just not really a big fan of the Brisbane one, to be honest. It feels a bit, and I don't want to say this, I don't want to seem mean, but it just seems like a bit of a mess. That's just my vibe on it anyway. So Brisbane's is the most disliked one at the moment for me. Next up, we get to Melbourne's. Not a big fan of Melbourne's. I feel like they could have done a bit more with it. I don't mind the design, but I just think they've actually had some really good ones in the past, the Demons, and I just feel like this is a bit of a letdown from the last couple that we've seen. I don't mind the shield and that in the middle of it, but I just think there's not a lot going on. It feels like everything's been pushed to the background so they can still keep their core part of their Guernsey, and I just it doesn't really scream out creative to me, just in my opinion anyway. Next, we get to Port Adelaide. Now, this is one of 2. This is their away strip. The white one, I don't think it's really that vibrant, I guess, if it's the word. It seems a bit boring, in my opinion. I think the teal as well doesn't stand out very well on the white background, in my opinion. So I think the other one looks a bit better, which we'll get to a little bit later. I don't mind the V in the middle, actually. That's the teal V in between the black. I don't mind that, but I just think the white background with the teal design through the middle here is not really my cup of tea, so to speak. God, I sound like a wanker, don't I, talking about these. Next up, anyway, we have North Melbourne's. I don't hate it. The only problem I would have is I think the colours need to be turned around. I would prefer a blue background and the designs around the jumper to be more white, in my opinion. There are a few up the top that I get to that I do like the white designs. I think it suits it. However, I prefer this one to be in particular. I really do like the royal blue that North Melbourne do use. So that's probably why I don't like this one as much. But don't mind the design. I actually really like the design of the kangaroo for it though. Next, we get to Sydney's. I don't mind the idea of the Swans doing a red bottom and a white off the top, to be honest. However, I think with the Indigenous jumper, I feel like it almost feels like it's been half done, in my opinion. I think that the white at the top there needs to be something up the top. I feel like it's just half a design being done, in my opinion. So I really wish they did something with the top of it, because I don't mind the design at the bottom. But Sydney have had the last couple before this one I have really, really liked. So I'm a little bit disappointed by this one, to be honest. I feel like they could have done a little bit more with the white top. Alrighty guys, we're back here for the second half. Massive second half coming up. So second half coming up. Here we go. From the MCG, the Coliseum of football, who can get over the line today? From the clearance, Crows get the first one. It's going long, but not too far long for Dacos. He goes out wide to his brother in Nick. Oh, not really great to see there. Darcy Cameron, I think he's just winded. Well, maybe he's actually a little bit hit to the knackers, but he's very concerned right now. Kick up the wing. Free kick's going to go to side bottom. So it started to pour down a bit of rain. So this game going to be moving into a lot more of a wet weather game. Side bottom, an absolute floater. Didn't get much on it, and Rankin cuts it off at halfback. So Rankin goes down the line, looking for Thilthorpe. It's going to be tough in the conditions. Dacos handball back to side bottom. He's happy to see it out of bounds. So it'll be interesting to see which team can be accustomed to the conditions a lot quicker. It was a factor hit to the nuts. Seems like Cameron's all right. He's getting his breath back. Definitely a hit to the jewels. So back in the ruck, O'Brien gets there first with a tap, trying to find Rankin. He kept it in. O'Brien tried to tap it to his teammate, but side bottom gets the high one off Peatling. So side bottom just holds up. Hopefully he gets a better kick off than what he did last time. He does. Just sends it up to the pack. Hoping for an option. No one could get there. Now Rankin breaks away from a tackler. Sends it towards half forward to a one-on-one. Walker up against Howe. Howe's had the win in the battle so far and he wins out again. Frampton kicked it across his body. Cut off by the Crows. Great pick up there from Hinge. Up to Peatling. Further on to Rankin. Over the top they go. Finding Jordan Dawson. Usually a good user. He goes to the pocket. It's going to be a tough mark. Frampton just took out his opponent. And in fact, it's going to be a free kick to Billy Frampton for some reason. Oh, I think it went on the full. So Billy Frampton just going to go down the line. It's going to be a lot of straight line footy now. Butts brought it to the ground. Coming. Switches it inside the forward 50 once again. Houston taking the front spot. So Dan Houston just putting his boot back on that got taken off in the marking contest. So now Houston drives it back where it once came. Myercheck, 1, 2, 3, great grab! Not only just in the conditions, but just overall a great mark. Gives it off to the runner in Josh Dacos. He sends it high, looking for an option, but it goes very wide. And in the end, good 60-metre ball to find the boundary. So just outside the forward 50 here for Collingwood. They lead by 5. O'Brien just kicked it out of the air. There's a track towards the boundary line. Pendlebury threw that away. Dawson takes him over. So early stages, third quarter. Rain has been pouring down since the latter stages of the second quarter. So moved into a much more of a contested slog. O'Brien with a tap down to Hinge. He couldn't get there. Did well to tack it down in the end, though. Tumbling ball towards half forward again. Fogarty's out the back. Maynard is there. And taking over the boundary line again. It's going to be very hard to get some continuation in the game right now. It's just going to be a lot of stoppages. It's going to be a lot about moments in this second half. Throws it back into play. O'Brien may have an arm held. Dacos is there with Hinge. Hinge pushes long to the ground. He had a chance to get rid of it. Umpire says play on. Gives him a little bit of a reprieve due to the conditions. O'Brien tapped it out only as far as side bottom. And the umpire will call for it once again. Maynard seems to have an issue with his finger. Hopefully he's okay. I think he's fine. Back at the stoppage. Rankin was held without it. Side bottom. Socketed off the ground for territory. Good 30 metres on the ball. It'll backtrack towards the boundary line. And Myercheck sees it over. Myercheck just getting to his feet. So back into play it goes, right in front of the wing here, in front of the interchange gates. Side bottom was there, socket off the ground by Pendlebury. Now McQuarrie wrapped up, and another ball up. It's going to be hard to break out of this area of play right now. Cameron couldn't grab it. Long did well to get a clean handball away back to Pendlebury. He'll send the ball forward. It's a bit of a chaos ball. Myercheck tracks it with Keane, and Keane sees it over. This game's going to be a huge slog in the second half. Settle yourselves in. Oh my God. So tapped it down straight to Dawson. He got boot to ball. Goes about 10 metres in the air. Kept it in front of him. Was Fogarty. Great pick up from Hinge. Handballing forward for Peatling. He runs away from his opponent. He'll try to send the ball forward. It came off the instep. Tracks forward. Neil Bullen soccers it for territory. Frampton corrals the footy and takes it over the boundary line again. So what on there from Adelaide? Just to force that ball forward a good 60 metres to find it in their forward area. Throws it back into play. O'Brien took the front spot. Can't grab it there, Rankin. Dawson keeping it in front of him. Socking it off the ground into the centre square. It'll work out though. Nankervis runs a full 360. Realised he had to get rid of it. Worrell eventually finds it. Tumbling inside the forward 50 once again. Going back! Great grab from Dan Curtin. Had a couple of big efforts today. And that was a great grab. And his teammates get into his opponent there at Dan Houston. Didn't go back hard enough, a lot of the Crows' opponents are saying. Dan Curtin took a strong grab. So Dan Curtin straight in front, 30 metres out. He comes in. Oh, he missed a good chance there. Not a good kick. How you doing, Anna? Going for Essendon in this game, I imagine. How you doing anyway? Long kick towards Cox. He couldn't take it. Did well to take possession, though. Dacos, side bottom. Quaynor, they're working backwards, but now they can go. The Dacos brothers combine as they usually do. Goes with a wide kick towards halfback. Finds Allen. Kick over the top. They do well here, Collingwood, to get to the open side. Hoskin Elliott. He wants to go. Couldn't go long. Had to work it short. He finds Pendlebury. So Pendlebury goes back. Just keeping it on this outer side here. They don't want to blast long. So now Maynard sends it inside the forward 50. It just gets over the line. Up went Cox. Couldn't take the mark. Saligo, good gather. Off to Nankervis. Has to be clean. Good kick. Hits up his target in Thilthorpe. And we got a bit lucky there, Maynard. May have given away 50. So Thilthorpe in short. It's a good kick. Finds Peatling. So now Peatling looking for the switch. Goes into the middle. Finds Millerer. He's got O'Brien as a runner. Realises that's not a good option. So sends it inside the forward 50 again. Saligo. In fact, it's Rankin. And he's paid the mark. Sidebottom isn't impressed. But Rankin will claim it. I don't know if that was a mark, but Rankin more than happy to just agree with the umpire's call. I want to see that again. You know what? I mean, it's a pretty fair claim. So Isaac Rankin already had a highlight today. Kicked the opening goal for the Crows, and oh, what a goal it was. This one, a little bit more rudimentary, and similar to Bobby Hill. Had a set shot from a pretty similar spot on the ground. Says to himself, look, that's not going to add to my highlight reel, so I'm just going to kick this one out to the left-hand side, maybe get an opportunity in the pocket. So Josh Dacos now runs away. Sends it up the wing once again. 2-on-2. Ruckman combined, couldn't get there. Crisp, handballed out wide, found side bottom. Kicks a long ball. 2-on-1 here in the Crows' favour. Elliott is the one. He fights hard. He's going to win out as he usually does. Up against the odds. Now Hinge almost threw that away. Hill tapped it on. Dacos soccering forward. Ball tracked well by Worrell. Clears it outside the area, but it's going to be coming back. Side bottom has it. Short ball to Cameron. Oh my God, what the fuck's going on? He goes inboard. Ooh, not a bit of a dangerous kick, but Perryman's up to it. Wants to go long here, Perryman. Who's going to fly here for the Pies? Cox is there. O'Brien brought it down. It's a soft drop for Cameron. Peatling wraps him up. So ruck contest here. Cox, little tap. Saw Elliott on the move. Didn't get it to him. Hill, he can get into a bit of a move, but Miller just corrals him over the boundary line. Good play there from Miller. I didn't want him to get goal side. Back in the ruck once again. O'Brien fists it away. Hinge gives it off to Peatling. Jammed it on the left boot up the wing. It's a bit of a tumbler. Going up. Fogarty almost dragged it down in the end. Quaynor gave it out. Turned it over though, the Crows. Side bottom. Frampton. Step past Curtin with ease. Sends it into the pocket. Looking for Elliott. Spoiled defenders themselves there, the Crows. And Myercheck takes it out of bounds. Went for a bit of a shot, but it was already out. Throws it back in. O'Brien taps it to space. Hill was there. So it came to a standstill this game. From the stoppage, Miller got taken high a little. Pendlebury's there. So's side bottom. Michael Annie took him to the ground. Umpire says play on. Going in hard. All the players. Pendlebury turns it over to Rochelle. Sends it very, very wide. Walker up against Quaynor. Walker did pretty well in the end. Hinge. Great gather in the conditions off the Curtin. He kind of owes them one. He drives it long for Thilthorpe. It's a 1-on-2. Pies have the numbers. Thilthorpe has to corral. And they do it well here, the Pies. They're working a bit hard. Dacos did it pretty well. And now they can go off half back. Perryman, Josh Dacos, inboard, Pendlebury. Time seems to slow around him. He looks at a couple of handball options. Eventually decides with Maynard. Towards centre half, forward smothered. Great work here from Adelaide. Kick goes wide. Socketed off the ground there, Curvis. They have numbers here, the Adelaide Crows. Handball wasn't the greatest. Turned it over to Allen. Further on now, Perryman. And now Pendlebury can run. Over the top, Allen. They got the overlap here, the Collingwood Footy Club. Maynard over the top, Toscan Elliott dropped an absolute soda. Work back onto it. Dodges past an opponent. Sends it high. Sends it long. Elliott couldn't take the mark. McQuarrie on the ground. Tapped it out to space. Quaynor doesn't hit the scoreboard very often. Inside outer job towards goal. Myercheck 1-2. Keane over. Oh, hang on a minute. Now he's taking it over. Well, it wasn't convincing, but they worked it out in the end, the Crows. And the Collingwood fans out in force today think that was deliberate or insufficient. Or what are they? Yeah, deliberate behind, but I think that was pretty well fair enough. I mean, to be fair, though, there wasn't a lot of pressure on him, but also Collingwood could have put a pressure on him anyway. How you doing, Maxie, the sports guy? How you doing? Crows fan, they're doing pretty well so far. So just outside the forward 50. Coming on the up to Saligo. Further on they go. Peatling sends it towards half forward. Pushed out of it there was Rochelle. Howe taps it to space. Curtin tracking it well. Got a high one. And he gets the free. And the Collingwood players get into him. A little bit of feeling in this one. Good kick over the top there, Curtin. Just a good gains 20 metres. Rankin, he's going to be given 50. The Collingwood players didn't get out of the protected area. And Isaac Rankin missed an opportunity a little early, only a few minutes ago. Chance here to give his team the lead. Oh, Rankin went to play on there. All his teammates are saying go for goal. Probably not as confident as he was a little moment ago after that missed set shot, blasted it out on the full. Neither team's been able to kick a goal in the second half so far. We've been waiting over 15 minutes. Can Isaac Rankin show his quality? To give his team the lead, Rankin comes in. Oh, and he's hooked it devastatingly left. How did he miss it by that much? It would have been harder to not score there. Oh, that's a bad miss. So now Howe blasted up the wing once again. Worrell, in fact, wins it well. Gives it back to Dawson. Hardly seen it in the third term. It's a high up and under ball. Good mark from Josh Dacos. Wasn't paid by the umpire. They're working now. Fogarty slung to the turf and it's a ball up. Crows dominating this third quarter, it seems. Just can't put it on the scoreboard. Rankin blasting through, couldn't get there. Taylor handballed on to Philthorpe, wasn't ready for it. Quaynor goes back into the traffic. Gonna ball up again. Who's gonna blink right now? It seems like Collingwood are not up, just seem to be on the back foot a bit. But the Crows can't put it on the scoreboard. Philthorpe throws a boot at it from the stoppage. Tracking towards the boundary line. Frampton just let it go. And it tracks out again. So forward pocket here for the Adelaide. Sam Berry got the jumper off. Seems like he's about to make his way onto the ground. Interesting to see who they sub out here. Wouldn't be surprised if it's Taylor Walker, just because they don't want to have so many tall players on the field. Patrick Lipinski, the unused sub for the Pies at the moment as well. Sam Berry seems like the good player to bring on as well. From the tap down, Philthorpe got hands onto it, threw it out almost, working it well, finding Saligo in some space. There's the quality that was needed, and the Crows hit the lead. It's the young gun in Jake Saligo who found a metre of space. That's all he needed. Great work to find his right boot and snap that truly. Yeah, so Taylor Walker has been subbed out. I'm not surprised by the call. There's not much he really could have done today. It's a really tough game of footy. You can't have too many tools in the game. He's done a good few things there, Taylor Walker. I wouldn't be saying he's been dragged or anything like that. He's had a pretty good performance. But I think it's time to bring on a smaller man. And Sam Berry had an influence last week in the showdown when he came on. So from the tap down, trying to have instant impact here is Sam Berry, socking it off the turf. Quaynor picked it up, handballed it forward to space, if anything. McQuarrie goes in and under. May have got up to a high one. In fact, he did. Oh, the umpire went down. The umpire slid in there as the jeers ring around the MCG. So now McQuarrie sends it high. Who can take a mark? This would be something. Who's going to go up? Keane had to throw a fist at it. Hits the turf. Laird goes to ground. Great pickup from Elliott. Snapped it towards goal. It's not going to make the distance. And fisted over the boundary line. Scores a level. Collingwood missed a couple of opportunities today. Can't put a meaningful score on there. Long kick here from Worrell. Crows have the numbers. Standing up was Fogarty, couldn't take it. Backing out of the traffic was Taylor. Handballed further on. Berry taking the contact. Spun 360. And he's gone. Well, the 360 rule is back, it seems. So Jack Crisp has the footy. Everyone's just calling it for the pocket, so he sends it a bit low, skids out the back and goes over the boundary line. So an opportunity here for Collingwood. Forward stoppage, 6:40 left in the third term. So they throw it back into play. Cameron takes the front spot. Long trying to pick it up. Saligo with the clearing ball. Bouncing towards Taylor. Tapped it on for Fogarty. Tracking towards the boundary line. Both players collide. And it goes out of bounds. What game's she doing this weekend? This is probably the only other game I'm doing this weekend, Jamar. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be doing the Lions game. I'm going to do a couple of things tomorrow. Just thought I had some time today, so I thought I'd just do a stream. How you doing anyway, man? So from the tap, Cameron did it well. Hoskin Elliott handed it off, trying to find Cameron. Sees it there. Taylor got hit high. In fact, it's Saligo. He's had a good third term, Jake Saligo. Went in hard. Copped a high one. He's kicked the only goal of the third term as well. He drives it up the wing, looking for Fogarty. Strong hands. He wants to wheel and go. Play it on. Maynard got misfooted. He runs away from him here, Fogarty. Low ball inside 50. Taking the front spot was Houston. Dropped the sitter. And now they can work it forward through Berry. Ned Long, great tackle. Put on the pressure. All that was needed was a hand. Did enough to cause the turnover. Kick out wide. And he finds McQuarrie at half back. Sam Berry looked to be tracking into an open goal. But Ned Long did well to cause the contact. Sends it long. Mychek caused the drop. Membry socketed off the ground. Tracking forward now is Cameron. Sat on it. Tapped it forward for Sullivan. And Mychek up against Keane. No one could grab it. Great pick up from Sullivan, but eventually Laird takes him over. Great surging football there from the Pies. Getting inside their forward 50. From the tap down, it gets out the back. Worrell jams it on the left boot. Up and under sort of ball. Up went Dawson. Couldn't drag it down. Frampton can't get it out of there. Keys got boot to ball. Kicking it forward. All numbers here with the Pies though. Jeremy Howe inside the centre square. All on his own. He wants to go long. Eventually gives off the handball to Houston. Usually will plant his boot into it. Which he does. Inside the centre square. Towards the top of the goal square. Who's going to go? O'Brien couldn't mark. Worrell did nicely. Over to Hinge. And now they can get away. McQuarrie got some of the pressure though! And drags down Rankin. Great tackle there from McQuarrie. And a chance here for Collingwood to regain the lead. So Beau McQuarrie played a little bit more midfield today, but this is his bread and butter. McQuarrie to give his team the lead. He snaps. Truly. Pies hit the front. And they get into Isaac Rankin. Great snap there from McQuarrie. The Pies regain the lead. So back in the middle we go. Cameron with the tap. Long couldn't get it out of there. Dawson forged it out somehow to Saligo. Jams it on the boot. Centre half forward, the ball flies. Quaynor couldn't get there. Coming through is Rankin. Handball nicely to Neil Bullen. Underground towards Peatling. He gives it off to Dawson. He's been a bit quiet since the opening term, but it's time for a big man to stand up and just kicked it wide. Oh, the kick almost turned over. Cumming was just a little bit overzealous in the push, and Quaynor has the free kick here at halfback. So he goes high and long once again, looking for Hill. He won't fly. Cameron couldn't mark it. Miller on the inside of Saligo. On the up, missed Hinge. And here goes Collingwood sweating on the pressure. Hill off the ground. Long does the same. Wasn't a great looking ball. Laird did well to trap it. Handball out wide. Worrell on the left boot. Just kicked it out of the danger area, but kicked it to Nick Takos in between four crows. Hasn't really been an illustrious game for Nick Dacos so far, but you know the quality can shine through when they need it most. He sets it up, looking for Myercheck, hits the ground. Who's going to go? O'Brien, Hinge. Oh, dangerous handball. Hill sends his opponent to the turf. Handballed away, runs towards the boundary line of the umpire. Is going to ping him. Oh, that is a ridiculous free kick. I mean, look, he's probably gone for the boundary line, but fuck me, that's tough. It's wet conditions. That's tough. The Tim Membry, been one of the most dangerous forwards so far today. It's going to be a tough kick, though. Tim Membry in the gutter at the MCG comes in. I don't even know if that entered the field of play. The umpire said it did, so it's out of bounds on the full. So Rory Laird will get the free kick in the back pocket. So 2.5 minutes left. He sends it long. Thilthorpe is there, so is O'Brien, but Cameron's the one who takes it down. And this is going to be 50. Darcy Fogarty didn't think, had a bit of a brain fade, slapped it out of his hands, and now Darcy Cameron will be escorted to the forward pocket about 15, 20 metres out. Such a costly 50-metre penalty to give away. Yeah, it was always going to be a mark. So Darcy Cameron, what a revelation he's been since joining the Pies. He's taken over the number 1 ruck spot, and he comes in and gives the Pies a handy 11-point lead. Good finish from Cameron. 11 points seems like so much more right now. I told yous, Pies supporter, Crows will make mincemeat of the Pies. Crows will, sorry, good old, and slow Pies. God bless, regards, Johnny Wishbone. Are you having a seizure, bro? I have no idea what you just said. I'm not a Crows supporter, by the way, or a Collingwood fan. I'm just a footy fan. I'm a Swans fan, actually, but I don't really know what you're saying, but that was very beautiful if that was some poetry. How you doing, Leah? Collingwood doing pretty well at the moment. They're broken away. 2 minutes left from the tap down. Dacos got the handball towards Pendlebury, went to the ground. In fact, it's Curtin, picked it up nicely in the end. Tumbling inside the forward 50. Who's going to go? Rochelle tracks it down with Howe. Fist onto it. It's going to track the boundary line. Who hit that one? Don't really know who that was in the end. Tony is crashing out. Okay. So just outside the forward 50 for Adelaide. Minute 36 left in the third quarter. Collingwood have kicked the last 2. From the tap down, Hinge went for the footy, didn't take it though. Peatling off to Curtin, got it on the left boot inside the forward 50. It tumbles, fisted forward, trying to work it. Now Frampton just hit that over the boundary, over behind. And that's all good, says the umpire. It wasn't going to be called, especially down the other end when the Crows probably was less. I mean, it was still, it probably wasn't there anyway. So a short kick here finds Nick Dacos, courtesy of Jeremy Howe. Dacos calling everyone to go on the outer side. He wants to go long. They don't want to risk a goal going the other way. So Dacos sends it high. Cox takes the front spot. Keane got there, did well. Peatling jammed it on the boot. Tracks towards the boundary line. Perryman looking for it. Got the handball away. Great pressure from Adelaide. And it rose over the boundary line once again. 55 seconds left. Well, the Crows, been very difficult to find it in open play so far today. Can they get someone on the move here at this stoppage? Cameron was there, one on the tap. Berry breaking through against the grain, back to Laird. Further on to Dawson. Side bottom, got him. Got the kick away just in time. But now the Pies can go. Long kick towards the 50. Elliott up against Michaelani. Michaelani won the footy, but he couldn't win it a second time. Cox turned it over. Laird did well. Handball further back. Millerer handballed onto Hinge. And the free kick's been ripped out here. It's called a throw. So 30 seconds left. Collingwood have it on 50. You're the Pies coach? Okay. I appreciate you joining the stream, Craig, but I think your job's still on the footy field right now. If Pies win this game, it will be 8 games we won. I think you mean win this game, but I agree. Yeah, I think, it would be. So Bo McQuarrie called to play on. He's going to set it up. It's an absolute floater, but it may work out for Elliott. Only Jamie Elliott could have read that book. He has read that in the air. Somehow, he drags it down. The siren sounds, and Jamie Elliott in front, 15, 20 metres out, will give them a 16-point advantage. So players come together, a little bit of a push and shove. But Jamie Elliott hasn't been as productive as he was last week, but always seems to show up when they need him most. Collingwood go in at three-quarter time with a 16-point lead. What team do I go for? Can you see the thing in the background? I'm a Swans fan, but you kind of see it. Look in the Swans fan. I mean, it's on my shirt as well. I was very happy with the win last night, trust me. Too bad we're going to lose we're going to lose 2 players to suspension now too, though. I don't know what the fuck McInerney and Amati were thinking, going for a bump, especially this day and age. What are you doing? Let's have a look at the statistics, eh? So going into the final term, Jordan Dawson leads all comers with the 23 touches on the AFL fantasy front, 107. On the disposals, Nick Dacos has 24, and his brother has 24 as well. Hasn't really been done a lot today, though, Nick Dacos. Fuck me. Rory Laird with 21's been pretty far out. Can't get my words out. Side bottom on 18 along with Pendlebury and Peatling. I think Peatling's been pretty good. I don't really know who I'd say Collingwood's best player has been so far. Honestly, it's probably Bo McQuarrie almost. I've liked Ned Long's game, especially in the conditions. He's done well to have 9 tackles. Darcy Cameron's been good, but I think that Riley O'Brien's kept up with him the whole game. If I had to give the votes right now, I'd say Dawson 3. Fuck. Shit. That'd be tough. I'd probably give Rankin 2. He probably needs to be kicking a bit better at goal, but other than that, he's been really good today. And I think you could toss up McQuarrie, Cameron, Long. And actually, no, you know what? Jeremy Howe gets the 2. And then you probably toss that 1 vote between 6 or 7 players. I think Jeremy Howe's been really good in defence today. This is for the Boundary Riders votes, by the way, not the Brownlow. The lesser of the medals coming at the end of the year. If you guys don't know what the Boundary Riders medal is, watch the review every single week. We give out the votes. If the Pies win, they will be the first place for the moment. Yeah, they'll be in front by 2 points over Brisbane. Shouldn't the teams be coming out for the other games now? Pretty sure. Yeah, I can't believe they have the Port game and the GWS game at the same time. Why is the Bulldogs Essendon game the standalone one on Saturday night? It's so weird. The other team should be coming out, shouldn't they? No, they haven't decided the final teams yet for the Port game, or did they check for the other one? It's supposed to start in 50 minutes. They're supposed to release the teams with an hour to go, don't they? Am I just stupid? Am I not remembering that right? I may be stupid, guys. That is the thing. Oh, I don't care about Matthew Lloyd on Twitter. They should... All right, here we go. So in the GWS game, no late changes. Subs are Harvey Thomas for the Giants, Bailey Banfield for Fremantle. And I don't think the Crows want to beat the Port game. Oh, no. Yeah, I don't think the Port game's been released just yet. I will let you know, though, guys, if they do. I'm the Pies coach, so surely I get one too. Pies getting BJs from the umps. Yeah, I agree. If he's the Pies fan, we are 138 deserves a BJ as well. I feel like that's only fair. So the Crows are going to have to make a big fight back in this final term if they're going to be able to steal it. Oh, my ass. Hang on, I've got to fucking... Well, they missed some fucking opportunities, the Crows. Here we go. Final term is underway. Crows going to have to make an almighty comeback here to steal this one. So back in the middle, Cox with the tap down. Fighting hard to get out of there is Berry. Couldn't do so. Crack open a tinny, mate. It's just a Pepsi Max, but anyway. Slap down from O'Brien. Ricochets off ahead. Finds it to Laird. He's held up momentarily. He goes in and under. Fed it out towards a teammate. Couldn't get it out. Nasaligo socketed it off the ground. Runs out towards the wing. Neil Bullen tracks it. Phil Thorpe will get there first. Picked it up well. On the up towards Cumming. Finds it somehow Frampton. Hoskin Elliott did well to pick it up. Got back onto it. Smothered well by Cumming. Went straight up and under. And it's an out of bounds throw in. So a 16-point advantage here for Collingwood. O'Brien, ricocheted off his chest. Berry got the kick away somehow. Dribbling ball. O'Brien does the same. Sockers it forward. Good take. Gives it off to Keys. Snapping ball inside 50. Back spot there is Fogarty. Met hard was Neil Bullen. Great defence there from Collingwood. And now Josh Dacos, an up and under ball. Quaynor sits in the hole. Should have marked it. Dropped it. Now handball from Rankin. Rochelle gets to work. Rankin in the pocket. This is his kind of stuff. Oh, Isaac kicked it on the full. It hasn't been his day. Especially in the second half. Yeah, it's Pepsi Max, yeah. Sponsor me Pepsi Max. I'd love it. So now Howe sends it up the wing. Huge pack of players form. Fisted to the turf. Standing under it is Worrell and Cumming just happy to have scored it over the boundary line. So the Crows desperately need the first goal of the final term. 3 goals is going to be tough to get, but if anyone can, it is this potent Adelaide forward line. Tap down. Sligo takes it forward. High up and under ball. Who can mark? Phil Thorpe at hands. Rankin got it away. Houston just punched it straight back into the danger. Maynard up and under. Not paid the 15. He spoils his own kick. Cox did the same. Bouncing ball. Now Hoskin Elliott didn't really look. Just jammed it forward. For territory. Keane tracking it. Elliott slapped it back towards Myercheck. Duck the head. Laird, good tackle. Should be rewarded, and he is. Well, you never had a Pepsi Max before, have you? Great tackle from Rory Laird. Myercheck ducked the head, did it well. Long kick, Phil Thorpe, great grab. He needs to lift tonight for the rest of this one. He goes long, Fogarty's there, it gets out the back, and Josh Dacos read it brilliantly. Just goes with the switch. Never tried? Okay. That's weird. Sorry. Weirdo. No, I'm kidding. Side bottom short to Houston. Goes with a long kick to the lead up of Elliott. Just in front of the interchange gates. Tells his team to settle. Hasn't needed to have a huge amount of impact today to get his team over the line. Long kick. Crisp. Did well to Membry. And now Lockie Sullivan. One of the lesser lighter players. And should have gone up over the top. Worrell. He drops the footy. Under pressure. And it's tapped through for a rush. But no, it's holding the footy. Josh Worrell gone. And right now, Collingwood can almost put this beyond doubt. 4 goals in the final term. It's going to be almost too much. We have too much Coca-Cola Zero around here. I don't like Coke Zero. I prefer Pepsi Max if I'm going with a no sugar option. So Hoskin Elliott in front, in the goal square. He salutes. And Collingwood out to a game-high 22-point lead. God, I don't know about that. I think that's a free kick. Worrell just dropped it. The Crows have got to go. They seem to have been stuck at a standstill for the majority of the second half. Long tries to break away from the Peatling tackle. Got his hands free, but turned it over to Miller. Hinge through the middle of the guts of the MCG. The Crows just have to go. O'Brien, delusions of grandeur, as Dennis Committee would say. Got rid of it somehow. Hinge stepping through traffic. Saligo off the ground. Forward it tracks. In front now. Good grabber from Fogarty. Handball forward to Neil Bullen. Further on. Weird handball. Out of bounds. Surely not deliberate. And it is out. The rain starts to pour. So from the tap down, Maynard, handballed through on as far as Taylor. Further out wide to Neil Bullen. He sets it up, top of the goal square. Phil Thorpe can't get there, tracking towards the line and over for a behind. So now Collingwood want to go on the outer side. They want to kill this game here and now. How you doing, Megan? Yeah, Collingwood looking in a pretty good spot right now. So now goes long with the kick. Membry went up, couldn't take it. Cumming, looking for an option. Handball on the inside was a good give. They further on now, the Crows. Hinge wants to get back onto his left boot. The handball misses target. Pendlebury ducks under the tackle and high. So Pendlebury works it wide to Allen. Short kick to Hoskin Elliott. Had a pretty good game this afternoon, Hoskin Elliott. Inside kick to Pendlebury. Oh, he wanted 50, didn't get it. It was very, very close. It was borderline. Still 15 minutes left, but it just doesn't feel like the Crows can find a goal. So he works a short Pendlebury, and now Maynard pumps it towards the teeth of goal. Cox couldn't get the mark, and it goes over. One more goal would all but seal it. So now Miller goes towards that wing. A little bit more central than the last few kicks. Thilthorpe couldn't make much of an impact. Maynard slapped it onto Quaynor. Jammed it on the left boot. Not a great looking kick. Good pressure here from the Pies. And Rankin taken over. Just hasn't been able to have that impact. 22 points the margin. Just seems like a wet weather game of footy isn't the Crows' game. O'Brien with the tap. Berry almost dropped it out of there. Spills now. Taylor did it well on the up to Peatling. Sees an option forward. He's going out the back. It will skid away. Frampton gets there first. Went to the ground. Philthorpe socketed it to his own advantage. Howe. He's been so good all day and wins out the battle. Quaynor kicks it up the wing. In front. Good grab. Well done there from Berry. It's been good since coming on, Sam Berry. Send it long once again. Darcy Cameron in the hole. Did okay. Brought it to the ground. Quaynor slapped it onto his teammate. Long. Good tackle from Peatling. Spills to the turf. Quaynor kicked it into his opponent. Feigned the give in the end. Philthorpe stood still while everyone ran past him. The kick forward bounces out of bounds. So forward pocket stoppage here for the Crows. They have to get a goal here. Mason Cox has been subbed out of the game. Seems it's just tactical. So Paddy Lipinski about to make his way on the ground. So who gets on the move here at stoppage? You've got Rochelle, Rankin, and the likes. O'Brien tapped it to the front. Philthorpe tackled well on Long. Almost behind his back in the end. It'll be another stoppage. Have to get on the move here, one of the Crows' danger forwards. Seems very stationary right now. Tap. Couldn't get anyone near it. And it'll be cleared by the Pies. Just gets enough on it. Brought to the ground by Keane. Myercheck is there. Soccering it towards the boundary line. Interesting what the umpire calls here. He calls him for insufficient intent. So now it's Hinge. He gets it working inside the forward 50, but again it tracks out of bounds. Collingwood won't mind this. They've been good at stoppage today. Rankin or Rochelle or Saligo or Dawson, someone has to get on the move here. Just seems like they're all stagnated right now. Seems like they've got cement in their boots. O'Brien with the tap out the back. Hill went for the body. Taking it through his Berry. Hill, good tackle. Ball spills. Side bottom. Clearing ball outside the defensive 50 once again. He's at the back here, Elliott. That just had to mark it. Hit the ground. Who's going to get up there first? Elliott did well. And he's got a free. He's been good in the big moments, Jamie Elliott. And he's going to get 50. James Peatling in the protected area. They've been hot on it this week. It's a tough call. But right now, Jamie Elliott has the game on his boot. Oh, that is so fucking dog shit, bro. That is so dog shit. Had no impact on the kick. Elliott wasn't even going to go. I fucking hate that shit. I get the decision if it blocks an opportunity to go inboard. I get that. But Jamie Elliott, I don't even think was looking forward. He was still working himself to work back off the mark. But a chance here, Jamie Elliott, to kick his team home. And just leaves the door ajar. Crows just have to go. I don't know. It seems like they're trying to wait for a moment. Just fucking go. Again, they're going to go wide. So Keane with the long kick in. Good mark from Dawson. Been a bit quieter in the second half, but he can still stand up. Kicks it inboard. Finds Saligo. He wants to go. Goes towards half forward with a kick to Saligo. Great grab. In fact, it's him now. That's 50. Has to be. And now Ed Allen, young Pies player, has given away a costly 50-minute penalty, and the Crows have missed so many opportunities. Jake Saligo should finish here. So Jake Saligo in front, kicks the goal. So the Crows get their first goal of the final term. And boy, did they need that. Down one end, Jamie Elliott missed a gilt-edged opportunity, and then Saligo gifted a goal. I think that's 50. I think he's. Look, I don't think he's trying to pull the ball out, but he shouldn't have had his hands there. They needed something to spark them, Adelaide. It seems like maybe that will. 17 points. Sits at a tentative margin. So back in the ruck contest we go. Cameron with the tap, only as far as Dawson. Trying to break a tackle. Chris wasn't letting him go. But it spills to Soligo. Inside 50 in front! Taken by Rochelle. Well, here come the Adelaide Crows. They're one of the most potent forward lines in the competition. Got a bit lucky there, Dawson. Just got a boot on that footy. But Soligo seems to be coming to the fore when they need him. And Josh Rochelle. He's had a big year so far. A chance here to give his team back within 11 points. It's coming back! He's missed. 16 points to the margin. They've missed some couple of real opportunities today, the Crows. They didn't take their opportunities in that third term when they had advantage. And then missed an opportunity there. Jeremy Howe kicks it long. O'Brien takes the front spot. Soft drop there for Pendlebury. Lipinski on the ground gets his first touch. Handballed forward. Crisp on the inside. Pendlebury always has space and time. Everything slows down around him, and the kick was exquisite. Just his pop kick to Myercheck. Teammates get around Scotty Pendlebury. Let's be honest, he's done it so many times before. Written on his tombstone will be, time slows around him. So Brody Myercheck, to give his team back that 22-point advantage. Hasn't had a lot of impact today, but always stands up in the big moments. Big Brody kicks the sealer, you would imagine. So 22 points now, 10 minutes left. There's still time, but it just don't seem likely here, Adelaide. Tap down from O'Brien to the front, only as far as Long. Gathered it well. Clearance here for Collingwood. Tumbling inside the forward 50 once again. Good mark from Butts. The Jordan Butts needs to get it going here. Needs to look corridor. He goes a little bit more straighter than that, a little bit less straighter than that. O'Brien went up, couldn't take the mark. Long on the ground, handballing forward, looking for an option. Maybe Sullivan. Now Laird tapped it in between his legs, did it well. Soligo kicks it high towards centre half forward. Collingwood have the numbers. Cameron takes the mark. So Darcy Cameron goes very wide with the kick. Good work there from Cumming to cut it off. Perryman slapped it forward in desperation. Lipinski goes towards the forward 50. Membry too far away from him. Kept it towards him for the moment. Eventually just bounces out of bounds. Just outside the forward 50. O'Brien with the tap down. He tracks onto it. Then went to the ground trying to soccer it off the turf. Long kept it in. Is he still in? He is. Cameron. High ball. It stays in. Wasn't 15. Berry did well to bodyline it. Here's their chance. Kicking it forward here, Berry. Towards Keys. He needs the bounce. Frampton did well. Lipinski Got it on the boot towards the 50 on the bounce. Myercheck will get there first and not out of bounds yet. Miller to Cumming. Didn't look, just went long. And Quaynor should have marked it. Did he get the free? So Quaynor goes wide to Lipinski. Started as a sub today. Came on about 10 minutes ago. So Lipinski out to Maynard. He'll drive it long. Looking for Hill. Looking for Hill. And then Hoskin Elliott out the back. Just sneakily waiting. Takes a nice chest mark. Oh, he's giving away the free. Yeah, Bobby Hill did go up a little bit early. So here's their chance here, Adelaide. Miller goes for the long ball. Dawson, good grab. Knows he has to go. Directing traffic in front of him. Sends it towards half forward. Good looking ball. Rochelle, he needs to wheel. He needs to go. He looks. He goes short. It's a good kick. And good hands to have it in Darcy Fogarty. Well, Darcy Fogarty seemed like the man in the first half. Been pretty quiet in this second half. He's been the big man that's been doing it all day. But now, the biggest moment, he stands up to it. 16 points the margin. Don't count them out just yet. So back in the middle we go. Who can win the clearance? Such an important one. And the Pies are up to it. Crisp, handballing forward. Players tussle up. Saligo and Dacos. And free ball up. Dacos whinging with the umpire right now. Not really too concerned about that. The umpire just throws it straight back up. From a tap down. Spills to Peatling. Ball wide. Allen went to the ground. Kept it in front of him though. Now Dacos in and under. Trying to give work in a phone box here. All the players. Neil Bullen trying to get it out. So is Curtin. Ball up. 6:53 left on the clock. Collingwood are clinical in the close ones. Can they do it once again? Ball feeds out. Miller to Saligo. Up and under ball. Standing underneath it is Neil Bullen with Perryman. Perryman looking for the boundary line. Peatling looking for the high one. He got it. So good at that, James Peatling. Handball on the inside. He wants to go. Long ball inside the forward 50. O'Brien's there. O'Brien almost marked it. Ball again. Houston threw that away. Isaac Rankin over the top. They just have to talk it out. Rochelle works inside. He snaps. He didn't get a good connection on it at all. Had a few options too, Josh Rochelle. He's had a few chances in this final term. And he's wasted them both. So side bottom has the footy. Goes with a long kick up the wing. Hinge couldn't mark. Butts out the back. Laird sends it back into the dangers area. Long ball. Dawson! He's led from the front all day. And a chance here to keep the Crows alive. Well, he's led from the front today, Jordan Dawson. He lives and breathes this club. Came to them when they're at their lowest of lows. And right now, he wants to be there for the highest of highs. Great kick, Jordan Dawson. Crows back within 10. Heaps of time left in this game. Jordan Dawson stands up to a massive moment. That was a great mark. So many players have dropped some sitters inside that forward 50 today for Adelaide. But it's Jordan Dawson who stands up in the big moment. So back in the middle we go. O'Brien wins the clearance forward here for Adelaide. It goes towards the wing. Standing there, couldn't take it there, Rankin. Tried to dive along the ground. There was Perryman. No one grabbed it. He's called for in danger. I don't know about that. I don't even think he touched him, to be fair. He goes wide with a kick to side bottom. 10 points the margin. These games have always been close. Yeah, I think, you know what, it's probably in danger. Tumbler ball towards the wing, finds Myercheck. He always stands up in these close games. Almost dragged them over the line against Geelong when they had no chance. Myercheck goes high, goes long. Membry's there. Standing underneath it is O'Brien. Strong mark from the big rock. Well, he goes right back to Worrell, put him under a lot of pressure. Did okay though. Hinge, short kick. Inside was nice. Finds Taylor. Working it wide to Berry. And Berry goes over the top. Nice approach here, Adelaide. Still 4 minutes left. They don't have to be too quick here. They don't have to be rushing it. 4:10 on the clock there, Megan. Long kick now. Cameron didn't take the mark. Keys on the up. Dawson again. Slapping it forward. Saligo handball underground. Peatling sees the shepherd of Keys. Works it inside 50. Maynard. Great spoil. Rankin's gone forward. Maynard there for a big moment there. Great spoil. That Peatling kick looked almost perfect. But Maynard gets there in the clutch moment. From the tap down, slapping it away. Nick Dacos will get there first, keeping it towards the boundary line. He had to keep it in. Back to Pendlebury. Oh, he fumbled. First time he's done it in his whole career. They work it out okay, though. Josh Dacos to Nick Dacos. Up the wing. Who can mark? Hits the ground. Berry ricochets off his boot. Hinge did it well. Berry to Laird. High ball towards the 50. Keeping it in front of them, Adelaide. Lipinski goes in hard. Ball spills to Houston. Handball wide. Dacos turned it over, though. Phil Thorpe over the top to Saligo. Sends it inside the forward 50. Who can mark? Rankin. That was clearly a push. Oh, no, it's a free kick to Taylor, sorry. That was an interesting call. Collingwood thought for sure it was their free kick. I thought for sure it was Collingwood's free kick. Well, you can't say the Crows haven't deserved a free kick against Collingwood late in the game. Yeah, that's a free kick. He's holding his jumper. Well, Zach Taylor, probably the biggest kick of his career. He'll kick from 50. He kicks it long. It's gone wide. It will be in the goal square. Opportunity. Still in bounds. Josh Dacos takes it through. 9 points. So it's 9 points. Still 2:43 left on the clock. Houston goes long with the kick. Cameron's in the spot. Should have marked it. Michaelani on the inside. High, surely to Berry. Umpire paid it. Don't really know if the Crows would have wanted to take advantage there, but Sam Berry gets the free. Been good since he came on. Sam Berry is the sub. He's looking at everything right now. He goes long. O'Brien's there. Allen should have marked it. Dropped it though. Has the players around him to work it out. Maynard with the clearing ball. Keane had it in a jumper held. He won't be paid. And now McQuarrie at the back. He's got the speed. He left the ball behind though. Berry worked it out. Laird in towards Keane, and they take the advantage of the Crows. Good looking kick. He hits up Phil Thorpe. He wanted to give it to Dawson. Realised that wasn't the option. So he pumps it towards O'Brien. And oh, it's Cameron. Wasn't paid the mark. Play on. And then Maynard slapped it over the boundary line. Gets away with it. Darcy Cameron, that looked like a mug. Umpire did not pay it. Locked inside the Crows forward 50 with a minute 52. Tap down, Rankin was held for a moment, slapped away, Rochelle fumbled, Lipinski gathered, tackled, held up, he had a chance. Umpire says, give it to me. Rankin and Rochelle are looking dangerous. Where's Jordan Dawson? He kicked a clutch goal moments ago. O'Brien with a tap. Punch forward by Cumming. Frampton there first. He clears it wide. Opportunity for Oscar Elliott. Stands up. Can't take the mark. Elliott. Smart little tap on. But Michael Annie read it brilliantly. Handball back towards Miller. He's usually a good user. Turned it over. And it's the recruit in Perryman. Minute 15. Just need to take a breath. One more mark, probably seals it. He goes long with the kick. It's out the back. It gets to Membry. He breaks away from a tackle. He runs towards the boundary line. He knows he just needs to work it inside. They've got numbers. McQuarrie had Dacos. Gives it to Nick instead. Now to Maynard. He can lather this one up. He eventually just sends a little gift inside 50 to the sub in Lipinski. And the Pies will hold on. The Crows have won large parts of this second half, but they haven't been able to take their chances. And Lipinski will soak up every last second of this. So Patrick Lipinski, interestingly started as a sub today. A chance here to cover himself in glory, and he's kicked it to the left. But that will be enough. So a long kick towards Dawson. He couldn't mark. He's done everything for him today. Stolen by Rankin. Got a high one as well. But it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter one bit. Collingwood hold on in another close one as they win out against the Crows and they jump to top spot on the ladder. Oh, hang on. They've actually paid a 50 here for Isaac Rankin. Oh, he's hit it pretty well. No, he hasn't scored, though. So a good win from Collingwood today. They were challenged by Adelaide for a lot of the game, but the quality came to the cream rose to the top in the final quarter. They held on in the end by 10 points. The Pies win it 11-12-78 to the Crows 10-8-68. All right, guys, we'll end the stream there. Thank you for listening and watching. Really do appreciate you guys' support. New video will be out on Monday, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. And the tips, of course, for the preview to round 11 will be out as well on the Tuesday. But again, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching.